Message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Okay, Simon, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. And what do people normally wear?
Clothes.
Exactly. So now Mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Clothes keep us warm, they look good, and if we go out without them, names will talk. So it's important to know how to get dressed. Here's how it's done. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. If you're wearing a tie, it goes over, round, round, through, and pull tight. Tuck your shirt into your pants and zip up your fly. Socks go in first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops. The rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears.
I love bunnies.
Good to know. Now remember, spots don't go with stripes, socks don't go with sandals, and if you've tucked in your shirt, wear a belt. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. Message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are very, very important. Someday, many years from now, when you're a grown-up, you'll be a man. And when you are, you should be a gentleman. Do you want me to go through it one more time?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If a door's shut, then knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't speak with your mouth full, don't reach across people's plates, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. While we're at it, don't stare, don't use foul language, don't call people names, but do remember people's names. Always share your toys, play nice, and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give up your seat to anyone who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
The New York Yankees were eliminated from the playoffs by the Toronto Blue Jays at home, 3-1 in the ALDS. Despite Aaron Judge's great postseason play after years of struggles, the Yankees were soundly routed by the AL East champions and outscored 34-19 in the 4-game series. Where do Aaron Judge, who had his best postseason ever, hitting .500 with a should-be impossible home run in Game 3, manager Aaron Boone, and the rest of the Pinstripes, go from here? We will then go into the rest of the division series in both leagues, with the Dodgers and Phillies in action now, the Brewers looking to close out the Cubs a little later tonight, and the Tigers and Mariners set for a winner-take-all Game 5 tomorrow, with Tigers ace and probable back-to-back AL Cy Young Award Tarek Skubal on the mound. And later in the show, we will find out what's in like Flynn and who is the king of the hill after cracking a six-pack with Speedy and going over some Week 6 NFL picks on another fully loaded, top-notch, brimming to the top of the pops with the best takes we've got, live Thursday night edition of Jabba and the Mound.
A significant. They're going to have a ton of money to spend. Why not put it in one of the top 3 offensive players in the league? We're going to be looking at Aaron Judge and saying that he can't win the big game. Michael Jordan said, I played 82 games. You don't see LeBron doing that.
This is a game where you got to go perform.
I told you, Giant fans, and Saquon Barkley, at this point, I'm gonna fight them all. A 7-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off. Say whatever you want about Patrick Mahomes. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. Really? And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. And back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the name's coming from my eyes. And
Listening to Jabba and the Mouth.
Yes, yes, yes. He's back. He doesn't have much of a tan. He didn't really hang out. I'm talking in a third person now. I don't know. I'm a little drawn today. It was a long, long day. But yes, this is a new show of Jabba and the Mouth. I am the one they call the Mouth. Errol Marks, my co-host, the flamethrower himself. I'm not going to do it. Jabba Chamberlain, Speedy Petey, producer, and our co-host, executive producer, who just filled in for me on Monday. Shout out to Fish. Fantastic. On the board, as always, Mr. Poops himself, Tommy Scoopa the Poopa. Go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including Jabba and the Mouth, every single Mondays and now Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and check out our local listings for all our shows is go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. You know, it's so interesting being away from the show for just one. Everybody asks me, what is it like just being away from the show? And I had a couple of people reach out to me after Monday's show and they said, it just doesn't, even though Fish did a great job, it doesn't seem like the same without you. And I say, oh, that's a baloney statement. There's always something that you want to eat, and whatever you're chugging or you're smoking or eating, as I just said, baloney, or if you like anything, I don't know, pastrami, whatever you like. Jabba likes his stuff over there in Nebraska. He likes his corn, whatever he likes to munch on with some butter. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the same when you're away and you want to be a part of something that you really helped create. So it was fun, but wasn't. And it wasn't fun today. I will get into that in just a few moments. Jabba, what is up, my friend?
Nada, just watching these games. Had a nice day here. It's been chilly. It's kind of, we get all three seasons in one day here right now. So if you wake up and it's 50 degrees, then by lunchtime it's about 65, and then it's about 81 right now, starting to cool off. But yeah, so it's just another day in paradise. This will be probably my last show for the week because I'm moving, and anybody that's moved knows I would rather run in traffic right now.
Well, hold on one second. This is our last show of the week.
I know. Well, for next week, I'm going to jump on here and there, but
I got it.
Yeah. So yeah, anybody that's done that, I'd rather go run against traffic right now.
Well, Jabba, I think you're talking out of your computer. Go check out your. I don't know. There's something in your settings that it might be missing. I think you're coming out of your computer speaker, not your mic speaker. So just try to StreamYard. That might help. But there's what gotcha. I don't know. Maybe you pop right in, pop right out. But it was an interesting week for me, and I want to go over the craziness of my week. And I got a chance to see Nick Goody. I had a chance to go and meet up with Nick, and we really didn't do anything except throw a baseball around, which I haven't done in 3 years, guys. So Nick wanted to see some kind of skill, and I think I impressed him enough because I caught most of his balls. He was throwing me knuckleballs. He was throwing me fastballs. Oh, he would tell you that he wasn't throwing hard enough. But nevertheless, he put a little sting on my hand. And by the way, he doesn't put any oil in his glove. The glove doesn't shut. And I said, Nick, what kind of glove is this? And he says, well, I always have my gloves like this. I said, how the hell you catch a baseball? You play professional baseball and you can catch a baseball like that? But I had a lot of fun with Nick for a couple of minutes. We actually hung out for about an hour and a half. I got a chance to watch his son, Braxton, play a little ball. So it was fun. I love his kids. His kids are so great. They're so cute. Braxton is an up-and-coming baseball star, second baseman. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And he's got on his jersey. I don't know what they call themselves. I don't want to say it because I completely forgot. But they're wearing Blue Jays hats. Yes, they were wearing Blue Jay hats. And when I saw that was a jinx for the New York Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball. I said it to Goody. I said, the game is over for the New York Yankees. They're not winning this game. It doesn't matter what Schlittler was going to do. And I was right. And they really just got smoked. And I will get into that in just a few moments. But it was interesting. And then today, I'm not going to go through the week because I don't want to bore you guys. And we traveled a lot. We went shopping a lot because that's what Brittany likes to do. She likes to take me out shopping, and I spend too much money. And by the way, we will sing happy birthday at the end of the night. It is going to be Brittany's birthday at midnight. She's born 10/10/89. So happy birthday to my girl. So we'll sing it when it comes close to it. But yeah, it was so fun in some kind of ways. I just didn't like to go shoe shopping with her. And I went to
I was
a
gonna
wedding.
say, did you get any shoes?
No, well, that's a lie. I can't lie to you. I got a couple of shoes. I did. I did. I can't lie to you. And I got a new hat. This is a new hat. And I wasn't going to buy any hats, ladies and gentlemen. I was not. And I went to Lids. We went to Tampa International Mall. And we
I love that mall.
Yeah, it's beautiful mall. Beautiful mall. If nobody's ever been to Tampa International Mall, it's right next to the airport over there. It is beautiful. It's clean. It's everything. And people are so nice over there in Tampa. Especially over there on the airplanes, they're so much nicer until you come over here to New York. It doesn't matter if you're JetBlue and you're not from New York and you're working for JetBlue, you're probably an ass. But for some reason, when you're coming from Florida or you're flying from Florida, you're nicer. There's just nice people over there at the airport. And then to make a long story short today, so we didn't have a ride home. All right. So everybody knows it's Comic-Con. It starts this weekend. Everybody knows that? Well, we made the mistake coming home on the week that Comic-Con is hosting again here in New York, which they always do.
Is it still at the Javits Center?
Yep. It's still at the Javits Center, and it's one of the most craziest weekends of the year. There's so many comic book fans and, all these different, like, Lord of the Ring fans. They dress up, they get crazy, and, I don't do it.
Have you ever been to one?
I've been to two of them, and I've been to I was invited to one of them as media guy. I never got a chance to do that. I definitely one of these days or one of these years I will love to go over there. Actually, job in the mouth, go over there and do a show live at Comic-Con. I think that would be fun.
And you could finally be the Purple Urple.
I'll be the Purple Urple.
Hey, we'd have to go. We have to buy in though. We can't go in like our stuff. We'd have to like be all in. Like we got to go full bore.
All right. So you're Papa Smurf. I'm Sniveling Smurf. And we'll be the Smurfs. Fish likes wearing blue, so I don't think that'll be hard for him.
And Nathan likes wearing his blue blazer, so that won't be hard for him.
You know what? I'll be.
Nathan can just wear what he normally wears because they'll think it's funny.
Who's the woman Smurf?
I don't know names of any.
What is that? What is that? What is her name? I know Gargamel. Somebody's got to. You know what? I'm Gargamel. I'll be Gargamel. That would be good. Yeah, Smurfette. That's her name. That's I remember it. Smurfette. So Speedy, you have to dress up like the girl. You're Smurfette. You have to be. You've dressed up in wigs and dresses.
Yeah, thanks to Carl.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You did lose a bet, and it was a sensational one.
Yeah, you and the Beeve enjoyed that.
If anybody's seen the movie The Ring, Speedy looked identical from the girl coming out of the television. Has anybody seen that? He was like, and I got to get that picture. I will send that picture. It is one of the most ridiculous, ugly-looking girls I've ever seen, and Speedy just played the part perfectly. Am I right, Speedy?
What do you have with it?
To the analogy.
But... I had him wear his grandmother's muumuu. Has anybody seen a muumuu before?
Yeah.
It's a dress that goes over a woman because they're a little too big, a muumuu, So there was no dress. So I told Speedy, I actually went to, yes. Oh my God, you have to see it. And he got a red, I actually went to get him a red wig. All right. It was absolutely hilarious. I have to send, if I could go through my pictures, some part of this show and send it to Fish, it will be posted. It is one of the funniest pictures. And yes, I was wearing a shirt sent by Snug the Cat. He sent me this ugly cat riding this like unicorn. Yep. And this infatuation of unicorns and cats riding. And it was one of the most despicable shirts I've ever seen. And yes, I enjoyed wearing it to show off his great artistic work. So, yeah, so we get to the airport and we're trying to find an Uber or a Lyft. And Brittany finds out it's going to cost about $200 to get to her house. And we're like, why is it going to cost $200 to get to your house? It's 40 miles away because there's traffic because of Comic-Con. It took us 2.5 hours to get to her house. 2.5 hours to get to her house. And I want to give a shout out to Muhammad, who took us home. Had him laughing. Had him, he didn't know who he was speaking to, and I'm sure
What does it normally take? How long does it normally take?
40 minutes. 40 minutes for
Dang.
40 miles, and where she located, and she's in kind of like borderline Lindenhurst, North Babylon. It would have taken us probably 40 to 45 minutes if there wasn't traffic like that for Comic-Con. It was horrible, absolutely horrible, and it was very costly for us. Brittany was not happy. I was definitely not happy, and I'm not going to attack Florida because she told me, don't you attack Florida on this show at all. So I am going to zipper and button my lip for this show because it is her birthday, and I don't want to annoy her. And she's probably watching this right now telling me, you better not do it. You better not do it. So I will hold back, Jabba, as everybody is probably wondering how crazy and crusty my week was. And by the way, the cops out there are absolutely horrendous. It's like they're going like, I don't know. It's like a flurry of craziness. One night, they're all over the place. The next night, you can't find a damn cop when something's going on. I don't get it. I don't get it. But nevertheless, oh, by the way, it is. It'll be Tommy's birthday next show. So we'll be celebrating Tommy's birthday next Monday. So that'll be fun.
How old is Tommy? Yeah, how old is he?
I am going to be turning 23 of age. So, yeah.
Holy I got draws older than you, dog.
I wish I was 23. If I was 23, when I was 23, I was in Germany, and I got a chance to go that year to Poland, Germany, Amsterdam, and Egypt that year. Yeah, so that was fun.
Job, are you still wearing them draws? That's the question, though.
No, but I'm pretty sure. I'm glad I didn't get that trait from my father because I'm pretty sure there were some draws in one of his dressers that were probably older than me.
Hey, what's funny is that my grandpa, who's 83 years old, if you're watching right now, Mr. Thomas Ithier, the senior, thanks for watching, of course, but my grandfather, who's 83, 84 years of age too, he has shirts that are older than my dad, my dad is 55 years of age, so my grandpa can relate to that as well for sure.
I want to say something. Nathan, you see what's going on in the world, and you see how many people have not survived on helicopters. And this guy's in South Africa with his family, flying all over South Africa. It was like, I was texting Nathan. He was telling me, he was trying to call me up on the WhatsApp. I'm like, I'm hanging out and I'm eating dinner. This guy's calling me in South Africa. It's probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and he wants to know what I'm doing. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to Nathan. Thank God he's alive. I hope he enjoyed that helicopter. Never go into a helicopter again. It is dangerous, Nith. Just say. Oh, what a week for the one and only me. I just got to say that. And by the way, we got an interesting football game tonight, don't we, Speedy?
Yeah, the Giants will probably lose by 30.
There he is.
Oh boy!
And he wasn't wearing his blue blazer, which I was attacking him.
He said he didn't even bring it.
Yeah, he did say he wasn't packing the blue blazer.
He's holding out for his anti-gravity blue blazer.
You know what's so interesting about him? He brings that blue blazer everywhere he goes. And the one time that I would have loved to see that blue blazer in the air, he wasn't wearing it. I mean, I remember the blue blazer. He was a wrestler. Everybody knows. Owen Hart wasn't the first blue blazer. He was the second. And Owen Hart, may he rest in peace, was the best one. And he used to fly off the turnbuckle, do these flips off the turnbuckle. He used to wear this blue blazer and flop around and stuff like that. So it would have been pretty cool if Nathan was wearing that ugly, ridiculous blue blazer and his weird camouflage pants in that plane. But he wasn't. So unfortunately, it didn't work out for any of us. But anyways, a little bit later in the show at 8:45, we will be talking to CEO of Encourage Kids, Jane Butler, and celebrity chef and a la carte restaurant director, Glenn Rolnick. He will be joining us. Am I right with that?
Rolnick.
All right, there we go. I got it right now. I'm going to roll with some Knicks, or with the Knicks.
You did just see Nick Goody, so that makes sense.
Well, I will say something about that. There are stories coming out from Milwaukee. Did anybody hear about this story? That Giannis only wants to be traded to the New York Knicks. Yes, and it is growing legs. And they went to Mike Brown about this, which Mike Brown is not supposed to go and speak to the press or the media about this because he's still under contract and he's still with Milwaukee and he cannot be traded until really 3-4 weeks into the season. And he's not getting traded until the trade deadline, if it ever happens. And the story came out, and there was numerous reports that came out that Giannis will only play for the New York Knicks. Now, it's an interesting story. I know Fish doesn't want me to get into it, but anyways, we got to get into the Yankees because that debacle was just absolutely pathetic. The New York Yankees were eliminated from the playoffs on Wednesday night by the Toronto Blue Jays 3-1, losing Game 4 by a score of 5-2. Following his historic debut, which Fish almost, blasted in his pants, versus the Red Sox, Cam Schlittler had a good but not great start, throwing 6.1 innings, giving up 8 hits with only 2 strikeouts, but gave up only 2 earned runs and had no walks. The backbreaking play in the game was the error by the one and only, you know who, Jazz Chisholm, as you call him, Chisholm, in the 7th inning that could have been an inning-ending double play, but ended up scoring 2 unearned runs in the 7th inning, giving the Blue Jays the cushion they needed. The Blue Jays mostly shut down the Yankees with a bullpen game in game number 4, pitching all of their best relievers, keeping the Yankees to only 2 runs and 6 hits with 10 strikeouts in the 4 games of the series. The Blue Jays had 7 different pit players with 4 or more hits, including infielder Ernie Clement and star first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. having 9 hits each. Despite losing the series, Aaron Judge showed up in a big way in 2025 in the 2025 playoffs with 9 hits, 4 walks in this series, and 13 hits overall in the playoffs. Judge was 2 for 4 with an intentional walk and an RBI in the 9th inning of Game 4's loss. The Yankees legend Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez trashed the Yankees front office after the game, saying that Aaron Boone deserves the least amount of blame on the results of this series, instead focusing on a poor roster construction and in-game moves made by the front office instead of Boone. The Blue Jays advance to their first ALCS since 2016 when they lost to the Guardians, the team with Jabba Chamberlain on that roster. While the Yankees haven't won since Nebraska's finest done it in pinstripes back in 2009. I knew Fish had to add that. He wanted to give Jabba that, woo. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Jabba Chamberlain. He was on the MLB Network this morning at 9 o'clock, hanging out with the boys and talking about a little Yankee baseball and our show. So I want to give a shout out to Jabba Chamberlain. Or may I add this one because I have to do this. I'm sure he was waiting for this.
Droba.
That's right.
Droba. Hat slicker.
Anyways, I have to get into this because a lot of people are taking shots at Aaron Boone for pulling Schlittler as early as he did. Now, Schlittler could have been pulled in the 5th inning. He went out there. A lot of people thought they were pulling him. He kept them in, and he got out of that inning. He came out, and he did what he needed to do as a starting pitcher. They rest assured to him that they were going to give him an opportunity to get out of that inning, and he did in the 5th inning. And then as he moved forward in the 6th inning, he fell into trouble again, giving up a hit and putting a man in a position where we knew that one way or another we're going to steal second and they were going to play small ball, which the Blue Jays love to do. They're an offensive team. They're not really a defensive team. Throughout this season, they've had good pitching up and down. Their defense has been up and down. In this series, they've been up and down. If you remember the last game they played against the Yankees, honestly, the Blue Jays should have won that game. It was 6-1. There was no way the Yankees had any breathing room. And Aaron Judge hit that 3-run shot, which absolutely was remarkable. Everybody sitting here, I'm going to give a shout out and attacked by the WFAN guys because when I was in Orlando listening to that garbage, and I'm going to just say it, Sal Licata,
Of course.
Sal friggin' Licata, all right? He came out and said the series is over for the Blue Jays. They're going to choke. The Yankees are going to run away with this series. There's no chance the Blue Jays are going to come back and win this series, even though they were up 2-1 and they still were in the driver's seat. He said there's no way the Yankees lose this series. Boy, Licata, I would love, and I didn't listen to his show today because I didn't want to hear it. It's absolute ridiculousness. I didn't want to hear it. The fact here is there's a lot of people to blame here, but there's one guy you can't blame. There's one guy you cannot diminish what he has done throughout this playoff run in 2025, and that's Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge in this playoff run was hitting 500 throughout the playoffs. Now, everybody's come out and said that Aaron Judge isn't a playoff player. He can't do it in the big game. He couldn't do it in the World Series. He couldn't do it here. He couldn't do it there. He goes into these hitting slumps where he can't hit home runs for 15, 20 games. This guy is not the real deal. This guy is not a money player. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this guy was the best hitter in baseball this year. He was the best hitter in baseball last year. He was the best hitter in baseball the year before that. This guy is by far the best player in baseball, and you can't take that away from him. I'm not saying Shohei Ohtani isn't the best player in the National League. I'm not saying Shohei Ohtani shouldn't win the National League MVP. He might. And we've seen what the Dodgers are doing to Philadelphia, or what they did to Philadelphia in that series. The Dodgers, and we expected this, and I will get into the Dodgers a little bit later in the show. I have to crush this guy. Jazz Chisholm is a complete moron, okay? The whole season, it's the home run derby. After the home run derby, only hitting 3 home runs in the home run derby, embarrassing himself as he did in the home run derby. And coming out and saying, we're still the best defensive team in the MLB. We're still the best team in the American League. Heck, we're going to go to the World Series this year. That's what Jazz Chisholm said to all you fans out there, all you blind Yankee fans, that I knew if there was somebody that was going to screw this up, it was going to be that idiot, that moron. And boy, did he do it in such great fashion. Such great fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, a guy that is a pretty good defensive player. We could say that. We can argue he is one of the better second basemen in the league. And in the big game, and everybody wants to give Jazz Chisholm all the credit in the world because of game number 3. Do we remember the hit that he had? Oh, I'm sorry, the home run that he had? Everybody was like, oh my God, Jazz going to be going. He's great. Yeah. He showed everybody what he can do in the big game. Choke, choke, choke. And what is everybody doing? Or whatever, what are fans doing on social media right now? They're not blaming Jazz. Give Jazz his money. Give it to him. Nobody's attacking Aaron Judge. They shouldn't. Nobody's going to attack Bellinger. Was he good in this series? Not really. Nobody was really good in this series, including Giancarlo Stanton, who finally hit a home run in the playoffs. And it was against the Blue Jays.
Errol, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second. Good is not even close. Judge hit 500, right? The worst hitting team in baseball this year was the Pirates at 231. What do you think the rest of the team, if your name wasn't Aaron Judge, hit combined for the Yankees?
130? 140?
220. 220.
So I was going a little too low there. I think
Stanton still got over 250 after all, but he was still struggling before that.
It looked a lot worse than it did because I thought it was a lot worse than 220. I thought it was in the ones. That's how bad I thought the Yankees were offensively. They looked abysmal. And this Blue Jays pitching squad, and I want to hear about Gussman and all these other guys. What's his? Kevin
Gausman.
Gausman.
Kevin Gausman.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman, who everybody said this guy is an absolute beast and great starting pitcher. And we could go on and on about the youngster that had 11 strikeouts in game number 2. We could go on and on about the Blue Jays and what they did. And by the way, Schneider deserves a little bit more credit than people are giving him. They wanted to attack him in game number 3 because he made the wrong decisions on the pitching and some of the rotation of bringing in guys off the bench and saying that Schneider should have shut him down, and Schneider should really stuck it to the Yankees in the early innings so the Yankees had no breathing room. Well, Schneider showed you why his Blue Jays are heading on to the ALCS, and the Yankees are going home and hanging out with their kids and playing golf and wondering, who are they going to bring back next year? Is it going to be Bellinger? Are they going to go after Kyle Tucker? Are they going to go bring in some more pitching? I don't know what they're going to do. I know Garrett Cole will be back at one point sometime next year, but who knows? Schlittler, I know every Yankee fans jumping for joy. We love what we see. He's 22 years old. He's special. And we'll see, because he's going to go into his sophomore year next year. This is going to be a full season up in the big leagues. A lot of pressure on him. Fans are going to really stick it to him and expect him to go out there and be an Andy Pettitte, Garrett Cole-like player. But I'm going to tell you this, what Schlittler did not do a lot in game number 4 that probably was costly for him. And I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying he didn't throw any off-speed pitches. It was all fastballs. Practically all 6 innings, I think he threw, like, if I'm not mistaken, 7 or 6 off-speed pitches.
He gave up 2 runs.
I understand that. But you're not going to be able to do that for the rest of your career and expect to be as good as you were this year. Not a lot of these teams seen you. I know the Blue Jays did, but a lot of these teams didn't really see him enough. There's not enough video. There's not enough film of him. Now teams are going to study him. The economic, or whatever we call it, the analytics are going to be out on him, and they're going to figure him out. So he's going to have to figure out how to throw that changeup. He's going to have to figure out when he's going to throw that curveball. And he's going to have to figure out when he should use those off-speed pitches. But I'm not attacking the way he pitched. I have to look at the game as an analyst, and I'm analyzing what I saw. And it doesn't mean that I don't think Schlittler is going to be good, or I don't think the Yankees don't have somebody and something special in Schlittler. He's a bona fide number 1. Going into next year, the Yankees have 3 bona fide number 1s now. If you think about it, you have Garrett
4
Cole,
technically.
Well, Rodon, I don't know what you call him, but
he won 18 games, bro.
Yeah, he won 18 games, and when the going gets tough, and when it comes to the big games, the guy completely disappears. And we've seen this before.
So Clayton Kershaw's not an ace?
I didn't say Clayton Kershaw is not an ace.
But you're comparing 18 wins and then win the big game.
No, he doesn't win the big game. And if you were to ask me right now, is Clayton
Kershaw's not an ace?
I'm telling you, Clayton Kershaw, if you were going to look at his analytics in the playoffs and consider him a Hall of Famer, if he wasn't as great as he was in the regular season, he is definitely not a Hall of Famer. Definitely not. Clayton Kershaw, if you look at what he has done as a left-handed power pitcher and had probably the best curveball I've ever seen a left-handed throw, he was bad in the playoffs. He was just bad. And if you're going to tell me now...
So you're saying you're a Hall of Famer if you just are great in the playoffs? Like, you don't have to be good in the regular season to be a Hall of Famer?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying right now, if you were to tell me Clayton Kershaw, if he was sensational in the playoffs and he wasn't really good in his career in the regular season, he is not a Hall of Famer. In 162 games, and you're winning an average of 18 to 20 games a season for like 7 years in a row, and with a 1 ERA or something, 1.63 or a low 2, and he's strikeouts over 300 almost every single year. Yeah, you're a Hall of Famer. That's the way baseball works. But if you're going to tell me right now what Kershaw did in the playoffs in his career, and you're going to say if he didn't do that in the regular season and he did that in the playoffs, he did as dominant as we've seen some of the Yankee pitchers over the years, like an Andy Pettitte did in the playoffs. He's all of it. And Andy Pettitte was good in the regular season, and he was good in the playoffs. Even more dominant in the playoffs. When it going gets tough, you want to Andy Pettitte the baseball. 1996, when the Yankees were down. Do we remember 2-0 against the Braves? Who got the ball? Andy Pettitte. Okay? And maybe
So is Andy Pettitte an ace?
Andy Pettitte is as good an ace as the Yankees have had in 25 years, in my eyes. And that goes for Garrett Cole, because as good as Garrett Cole is, Garrett Cole's had one good playoff run with the Yankees. That's my opinion. One good playoff run. And that was last year. If you ask me right now, Andy Pettitte every single year, every single playoff. Andy Pettitte, the Yankees, and yes, your man, Joe Torre, went to Andy. He did. He always went to Andy when he needed an out or he needed somebody. I saw Andy Pettitte come out of the bullpen in some games in the late 90s. He did whatever Joe Torre wanted him to do. And that's why Andy Pettitte is one of the greatest Yankees of all time. And you heard it from me. Top 10 greatest Yankees of all time. Coming from me, who watches the Yankees religiously since the day I 86. It was the first time I watched a Yankee game. I knew what the Yankees were, and I was a diehard Don Mattingly fan. I'm just saying the truth here.
Top 10, like pitcher or like just Yankee in general?
Yankee. Top 10 Yankee of all time. Andy Pettitte is a Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer, and the fact that he did HGH and he admitted to it, it to me should absolutely put him into the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. I've said this many, many times. Sammy Sosa, I don't know. Because if you look at Sammy's numbers before he did steroids, he wasn't that good. Mark McGwire was a good player before he did steroids. So I don't want to go off track here. The fact here is I absolutely agree with Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. Absolutely agree. This is Brian Cashman's fault. It's his fault. You could say whatever you want. He thought Jazz Chisholm was the guy. He thought that Jazzy was going to make the plays that he needed to make in certain games. And this wasn't the first time he made a mistake in the playoffs. This was the third time in this playoff run he made a mistake. A selfish mistake. And by the way, after the fact, the game before, which the Yankees won, him yawning after making a mistake was pathetic. Absolute patheticness by the one and only, who I call Jazz Chisholm. He's an idiot, he's a moron, and he doesn't belong on this team. And if the Yankees pay him, they're making a big mistake. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. He is not a Yankee. He's not. Yankee fans, stop it. I am drawn out of the thought that any Yankee fan believes that this man is and should be a guy that should be getting $160 million as a contract. I don't get it. I don't get any Yankee fan that believes this guy is worth a bit of that money that the Yankees are going to dish out to even Bellinger, who's great in the regular season, but didn't show up in the playoffs when the Yankees needed him. He had a couple of hits, but not enough. What was he hitting in the playoffs?
Like 197, I think.
I mean, that's not going to get it done. You're going on a walk here, and the Yankees are looking, hey, do we bring Bellinger back or do we go after Kyle Tucker? You know, if he's available, maybe we go after. I know Kyle Tucker wasn't great in the second half, but he's younger or a little bit younger, not much younger, but a little bit younger. And to me, a better all-around player than Bellinger. I know you disagree with me, and that's fine, Jabba. That's fine. If you disagree, if Yankee fans disagree with me, that's fine. Disagree with me. I just think that it's selfish for any fan to go after Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone did what he was supposed to do. Now, some of his moving pitchers around and bringing in relief pitchers in certain innings, there are questions to that. Why did he do that? Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was up top telling him to pull Schlittler like he did in the sixth inning. Now, I thought he did the right move. I thought he made the right move. Now, I don't know if I would have brought Tevin Williams in. That's that guy I didn't understand. I was thrown off the way they decided to go that route. And everybody's going to say, well, who would you brought in? Well, that's a good question. That is a really good question. And only if I looked at this situation for what it was, and I really didn't, I probably would have given you an answer, but I'm traveling all day, so I really couldn't have scoped anything out any more than I did. But shame on Yankee fans on social media attacking this man. This man deserves a little bit more credit for what he did, especially in the second half of the season, got this team playing and playing at a high level. This team almost won the division. And I'll tell you this, if the Yankees won the division this year, they beat the Blue Jays. They beat the Blue Jays because it's very, very hard to play in Toronto. Toronto is not an easy place to. By the way, if you look at Toronto's record in the last 5 years, comparable to the Dodgers. And this is the same Blue Jays team that doesn't make the playoffs And what they made the playoffs twice in the last 6 years.
22, 23 they made it, and then 21 they were pretty close. I think they were like a game behind the Yankees.
And if you look at their home record and in all of baseball, they're in the top 3. They're not easy to beat in Toronto. So I don't know. I know Yankee fans are probably crushed, and you should be. But I know somebody that is definitely going to reach out tonight and have his own opinion. That's Keith, because he owes me dinner. He owes me a dinner. He lost the bet. I did win that bet. I said that the Yankees weren't going to make the ALDS. And ladies and gentlemen, I was right. I'm not going to say again because I don't want to upset Jabba or
Joba.
As we all know.
They ain't paying my bills. I say it the way it is. I mean, if they're paying my bills, it's one thing, but they ain't paying my bills.
By the way, before I get into my thing, Java, I saw your reply to a tweet that said, if Brian Cashman was ever in your ear making managerial decisions, you would never be the manager of the team, which I thought was pretty funny.
Oh, 100%. Without a doubt.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with the approach that they end up taking right now. When you end up getting either the wrong types of the analytics or the wrong types of the players, like trying to mesh together. And I think it's kind of hard to do that kind of thing when you have a lineup that's kind of a fusion of many different things all at once that just hasn't worked out. And you're trying to work in the younger players so they played well at the end of the year. Austin Wells got hot at the end of the year. Even Volpe, the last few weeks of the season, actually played well. And he actually was playing well in the beginning of the playoffs too, in that Red Sox series. But it steamed out eventually. And the rest of the veteran lineup didn't do enough to compensate for that. But at the time of the trade deadline, you're thinking, okay, are they going to get one more big bat? And they end up going to get Ahmed Rosario and McMahon, who actually played well. I think McMahon was the only other guy besides Judge to hit over 300 in that series. So I guess he was fine. But as your main hitting piece, it didn't really seem straight. So I do agree with what you were saying about Cashman and Derek Jeter and A-Rod throwing Cashman under the bus as badly as they did. And again, you waste what was a memorable run for a young kid in Schlittler. I know, obviously, he got pulled in the 6th inning, had to battle more through that one. But like you were saying, Errol, he had to change his approach a little bit, throw more off-speed pitches because he threw 96 out of 100 fastballs, 107 pitches as fastballs in the next game. So it was going to get predictable against a good lineup like the Blue Jays. So I don't mind them trying to do that. But again, Rodon and Fried both didn't pitch well, and some of the other veteran players didn't show up. And the Yankees can't account for that. That's not Boone, and that's not anyone else but them.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I've talked about this for about 6 hours today. But yeah, I love the fact that, finally we're getting, guys that are put in our position of the nature of Derek and saying, what he said. And, it's amazing because Yankee fans are probably taken back a little that, he comes out and says that, what are we doing, really getting after Boone? He's done a great job with what he's had. Obviously, every manager is going to be ridiculed for some type of decision they've made, but he's like, he's not the one making the decision. And so and he even prefaced it saying with no inside knowledge, but you're Derek Jeter. You've got a little bit, and you're obviously now in a position where you're talking about it. So coming from you is a lot different than coming from somebody else. And now as it's been poked and prodded at that, he did have that little microphone or, little earpiece in, whether he did or not, coming from somebody of that stature and what he's done for this organization kind of says a lot. And then Alex, obviously, to come at, we've got 5 DHs, 3 left-handed catchers, and, basically just pointing out exactly what a lot of people want to say, but coming from them is completely different. So I the same thing that I've argued back and forth with everybody. Boone and Cashman aren't going anywhere. So just drop that idea that you think they are, because they're not. Are they going to make something to try to figure out to get past this hump? Because it's been the same thing year after year. And so it's, unless something drastically changes, there's nothing in the front office or Cash going anywhere. And they're just going to have to figure out what they can do. Jazz, he obviously caught weird that the whole yawning thing was interesting. That kind of caught, fired with everybody saying it, and then everybody becomes a doctor and they're like, oh, I yawn when I'm nervous and I yawn when I'm tired or whatever. I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I don't care. And they're like, well, did you see him in a homer? I was like, yeah, and millions of other people too. I just said, did you see him yawning? It just didn't look very good because the previous inning, he literally had a brain fart and didn't throw it on a ball that belly hustled for. He got past him. And so it didn't look great. But when it all said and done, thing that I look at is, are they going to make a change in the way that they construct this lineup, the team? Because Booney ain't going nowhere and Cash ain't going nowhere. So let's just drop all that. Unless something drastically happens, that's not going to happen. So now we got to move on to a new subject and stop blaming them for doing what they did or didn't do, because they're always going to be ridiculed for what it is.
One of the things they said was, it was them, and it was people talking about what they were saying. They got 3 left-handed catchers and about 5 DHs. And then in this game, in this series, Trent Grisham did nothing. Cody Bellinger had a home run, but was like 3 for 16. Volpe, as you know, continues to do nothing. Big G did nothing in this series. You know, that was the thing that made the Yankees really good down the stretch, is they had Judge and Stanton going at the same time. And Bellinger was solid all year. That's the 3 in the lineup. Judge was unbelievable in the series. That home run, I'm going to try to remember the good. And that home run was one of the most amazing home runs I've ever seen. I mean, Jabba, you tell me, if you're throwing a fastball at 100, about a foot inside and in the top of the zone at that height, you're not expecting that to be hit off the top of the foul pole.
Well, statistically, it's never happened before in the game of baseball since they've been keeping track. So there's nothing you can even really say to go be like, because it's never happened. But this is a question I'd like to ask you guys too, and you probably heard it. Does that home run, and we heard from Jimmy Leyritz on this show, like the winning is the pinnacle of, like, okay, you're remembered forever, you're legend, blah, blah, blah. Does that home run in that situation, even though it's a division series, does that put him closer to that? I think so, because you got to have a moment, right? You have to have a moment, and it doesn't take away from, obviously, you don't want to lose in the division. I understand that. But you have to have moments in postseasons where, okay, that's a defining one. And that is he there yet because he hasn't won? No, I will agree with that. But he is on his way to legend status in that uniform with that home run in the style that he did it. That's how I feel. I think now, if you just put the icing on the cake, if he does win, and then, I mean, it's Monument Park anyways, and then that's just like as fast as you can put it up.
You know, Errol, we were talking about the good of Aaron Judge. How about the bad of Max Fried, Carlos Rodon? Schlittler did the best he could in that game. That's just a different type of lineup. It's not a lot of swing and miss in that lineup that Toronto has. That's maybe some of the roster construction stuff that we need to talk about as a franchise, that maybe we don't want guys that strike out 150 times a year all throughout the lineup. Maybe we need a couple of Luis Arises somewhere in this lineup, or maybe literally him somewhere in this lineup. But there's been a lot of guys that we were relying on that no-showed that series, especially the starting pitching. I mean, how could be the rookie the only one that showed up?
Well, and Luis Gil wasn't good either.
No?
The whole squad.
That's the most runs they've ever given up in the history.
Yeah, it was bad. And again, if you're a Yankee fan, it wasn't even a pitcher that really upset me. It really was the way they were hitting. They have always been this team, when they get into the playoffs, over the last, really since 2009, they go into these slumps and they get demolished by teams that they should be hitting against, pitching staffs they should be hitting against. And yeah, I would say Max Fried was not good. He wasn't. Max Fried was good in the first round, in the wild card game against the one and only Red Sox, and everybody thought that was their World Series. The Yankees beat the Red Sox. What Schlittler did was unbelievable. I know Fish was like, I don't know. I'm not going to say what he was probably doing after the game, but you could probably guess what I was thinking. But the fact is, I'm not going to say that Schlittler isn't a special player until we see him do it year in and year out. It took Andy Pettitte a little bit of time too. Andy Pettitte did it in the in the beginning stages of his career as a New York Yankee. Remember, Andy Pettitte came in the early 90s. I think Andy Pettitte's rookie season was, if I'm not mistaken, was 93 or 94 when he came into the league.
I think he was actually on that 95 team. He got in there on the one that went to the playoffs, I believe.
And didn't he get
94
called up
was
in
the strike
94?
short in No, that season was cut off half.
95
was
was
the strike.
first year.
All right, so
the
95,
strike.
and then 96 was when Andy Pettitte was really the guy that the Yankees leaned to in the playoffs, especially in 96. The only reason why the Yankees beat the Braves was because of Andy Pettitte. I don't care what anybody says. Andy Pettitte was the best player throughout that series. I don't care, because when it comes down to it, pitching is to me, the most important part of a roster and a team, especially when you're down 2-0 against the Braves, who had Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, and Danny Nagel. Remember Danny? Or Denny Nagel. Denny Nagel. I still know what I'm talking about. You guys try to correct me. I know what I'm talking about. That rotation was one of the best rotations of the last 25, 30 years. If you look at the rotation, you have 3 Hall of Famers, and Denny Nagel was a very good pitcher that year as well. So I'm just saying, when you look at the Yankees and you understand what the Yankees have done, and Jabba knows because he's a Yankee, he was a Yankee, and he's won a World Series with the Yankees in 2009. He's seen the greatness of this franchise and what this franchise is known to be. It's embarrassing when you know that the only 2 players you can lean on throughout this series against the Blue Jays was Aaron Judge and the youngster, Cam Schlittler. That's it. That was the only 2 guys. I'm not going to take shots at their. Who's their closer? Who's the Yankees closer? He was great.
Bednar.
Bednar was good too. I'm not gonna take shots at Bednar either. He was great throughout the playoffs. I want to give a shout out to, that was the one move that Brian Cashman made at the trade deadline, was a home run. Bednar was sensational. He had a couple of bleeps throughout the season when he came to the Yankees. I think he had a couple of closing positions and eighth inning times that he came in that he wasn't so good, but really throughout the season when the Yankees made the trade and he was a Yankee, he played very, very well, and the Yankees eventually leaned towards him being the closer after all the craziness that the Yankees had like 5 different closers this year. I think it has to be the most the Yankees have started or tried to start closers throughout the season. I can't remember a Yankee team that had 5 or 6 closers in one year, even when Jabba played. I don't remember. I cannot remember.
Nobody had a chance to. Mo was still here.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. I'm just saying, even when Mariano retired and he was gone, there was nobody. They're just, it's just horrible. And the Yankees right now have to figure out what they are as a team. Do they decide that they move forward or move behind with Jazz Chisholm? And I think, to me, he's not a game-winning player. He's not a player. And I know what Jabba's going to say. He's a top 10 player defensively at his position. He's a top 10 offensive player at his position. Good for him. And when the going gets tough, the guy doesn't shut up, and he doesn't play like a Yankee. He doesn't. He opens his mouth too much. I have never. And
okay. But I need to ask this. This bothers me. What does he doesn't play like a Yankee mean? What does that mean?
You want me to explain it?
Because I didn't play like a Yankee. Goose Gossett said I didn't play the Yankee way.
First of all, Goose Gossett should not be speaking, and I have my own.
But that's why I'm asking, because I hear this all the time.
I'll explain what a Yankee is. My opinion as a Yankee fan, growing up a Yankee fan. When you cheer for a player, okay, Derek Jeter, Don Mattingly, I'm talking about guys that I look towards. In my time of being a Yankee fan and watching greatness, Andy Pettitte, Jimmy Key. I loved Jimmy Key when the Yankees brought Jimmy Key in. I loved him. Mike Mussina, all right? And everybody's going to say, well, Mike Mussina never won a championship with the Yankees. Go look at what Mike Mussina did with the New York Yankees when the Yankees signed him. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, and everybody's going to say his Baltimore years were sensational. He was a great pitcher for the New York Yankees. When you look at a Yankee, I mentioned those players. There are other Yankees that I can mention. And if I don't want to hurt any Yankee fans or Yankee players that are listening to the show right now's feelings, I just gave you a few. Those guys after the game, including Aaron Judge, are not about going out there and speaking about how great he is, how great the team is, what the team should be, what the team's going to be, how great the organization is, and all that other stuff. You just go out there and play. Yankee players do that. Now, I look at guys like you, Jabba. I remember when you played for the Yankees, and you're one of my favorite players. I'm not going to lie to you. I've told you that off air. From 2005 to 2010, 2011, you were my favorite player on the Yankees. I loved your emotion. I loved your personality. I love that when you went out there and you spoke to the media, you never threw anybody under the bus. You were straightforward, and you made sure that you made your team the objective, not yourself. You didn't blame anybody with the midgets, whatever the hell they were. You didn't blame anybody. You didn't blame Joe Torre for not taking you off the mound, even though Joe Torre blamed himself not doing it. You stood for what I believe a Yankee should be. A guy that goes out there and thinks for a team. Thinks not for himself, not thinks for, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out there and make myself look like a jackass. And I'm going to do things and say things that are just absolutely ridiculous. You know, that's the problem with Jazz Chisholm. That is not Yankee-like. Everybody hated Jason Giambi because he was caught with steroids. But the Yankee fans that are diehard Yankee fans love Jason Giambi. And why did they love Jason Giambi? Because when Jason Giambi did steroids and that came out, Jason Giambi was ashamed of himself. He went out there, he explained himself, he didn't make any excuses, and he felt like he let the organization down. That is a Yankee, okay? Now everybody wants to hate Alex Rodriguez. This guy's a fool. He cheated. He's a cheater. And Alex Rodriguez was a lowlife. He did a lot of bad things. I'm not saying that he's not. But when Alex put himself and his back was against the wall, he came out, he spoke up, and told everybody what he did. And he didn't beat around the bush. And everybody's going to say, well, he did it again. He did it over and over and over again. He's a repeat offender. Yeah. Well, sometimes when you do something too much and you think that you have to lean towards that, your whole career, that could affect you moving forward as a player. So you want to know what my thought is being a Yankee, Jabba? It's just you being a team player, a person that's not going to think about myself and what my statistics are and what, hey, I'm going to go out there and throw my team under the bus and make my team look like a complete bunch of idiots. And that's why a lot of people didn't like the Yankees this year. And I've heard it from many, many people that are not Yankee fans on why the Yankees were even more hated than they ever have been. It's because of that idiot. And I don't want him on my team. I don't want him there. So you're asking me team playing. And that is the Yankee way. And that is not the Yankee way. So you want to know my opinion? That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean, because I hear it all the time. So and they're usually not the same. So I think it's generational too, because you hear it like from the older generation a different explanation, and then the new ones. I mean, newer. I'm not gonna go ask a 22-year-old just baseball fan, which it would be interesting to hear what they have to say, just because their upbringing and what the Yankees are completely different than, ours, and then even the generation beyond us. So I like to hear it just because everybody has their perception of what that is as a fan, or, somebody that's followed them for years. So that, I mean, because it was always interesting to me, because for me, I didn't really understand it, because as a kid from the Midwest, I only got to watch them when they were on national television, right? Like I was a Braves fan because I got to watch them every day. And so I obviously knew the history from my dad teaching me the game of baseball and the legends that were the Yankees. I mean, there was tons of legends in the game, but like the Yankees just held a different type of lore. And so I had that, obviously going into it. So like when it happened and you're like, okay, well, I don't really know what the Yankee way is, obviously clean shaven and stuff like that, business-like. And so it's always nice to get people's perspective, because it gives me a different feel of like, okay, this is kind of how I view it, or this is what it is. But, some people are way on the other side of the fence. Some people are on the same, so it's very interesting to me how people view that.
In the other ALDS matchups, the Mariners and the Tigers are tied at 2 games apiece after the Tigers' offense exploded after being down 3-0 in game number 4, coming back to win 9-3. Likely American League Cy Young winner Tarek Skubal will start game number 5 for the Tigers tomorrow at 8 p.m. The Mariners have not announced their starter yet. I wonder why. But veterans George Kirby or Luis Castillo are the most likely options. In the NLDS, the Cubs kept their season alive with a tight 4-3 win over the Brewers in game number 3, but still trail 2-1 in their series. The Cubs got to Brewers starter Quinn Priester early, chasing him after only 2/3 of an inning. Matthew Boyd, who struggled in game number 1, will pitch for the Cubs tonight against the Brewers. Ace Freddie Peralta, as the Brewers look to close out the series at Wrigley Field. In the other NLDS series, the Phillies blew out the Dodgers in game number 3 by a score of 8-2, keeping their season alive as they face elimination after dropping the first 2 games of the series. Kyle Schwarber had 2 home runs and 3 RBIs in the win. Game number 4 is currently underway at Dodger Stadium, featuring starters Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers and Christopher Sanchez, who is likely to get a lot of Cy Young votes this season in the NL for the Phillies in his current. Now, I will say there's a lot to get into, and I don't want to go too deep into this because the series is not over. The Yankee series is over, and we're based out here in New York. You do not want to be the Mariners in game number 5 because you got to face off against this beast of a man. This man is scary. This man, every time he gets on the mound, you know he's going to pitch at least 7 or 8 strikeouts. This guy is one of the most untouchable pitchers I have seen in baseball. And we just named one of them who played for the Dodgers, who was retiring this coming year. And you know who I'm talking about, Speedy.
Clayton Kershaw, who chokes in the playoffs.
That's right, but that's not that's not what I'm saying.
I get it.
I see domination, and I look at guys like Tarek Skubal, and there's nobody I can compare him to. There's nobody that I have seen that I can compare his ability. He throws 4 different pitches, sometimes 5. He throws a heavy fastball that goes 103 at some point. Sometimes I think he's hit 104 at one point this year. He's unbelievable. And I'm not saying that the Mariners don't have George Kirby is a good pitcher. Luis Castillo, we know him. The Yankees wanted him. He's a good pitcher. But these guys are nowhere close to Tarek Skubal. And this game is going to be low scoring. There's no way they're getting more than 3 runs against Tarek Skubal. So I just think that series is coming down to a game number 5. And who's in the driver's seat here? It's the away team. It's the Detroit Tigers. And the Mariners did not want to see Tarek Skubal again. They did not. So I don't know how this series is going to end, but I do know it's going to end in one person's hand unless the Mariners find a way to hit against him, and that's Tarek Skubal. As far as the NLDS and the Cubs series, I think the Cubs are done. I think the Brewers are the better team. They've been the better team all season long. I don't think they can choke in this series. I really don't. Now, I know everybody's going to look at the Cubs and you're going to say, well, you know, the Cubs still have a chance. They don't have a chance. I think the Brewers are the better team. I think the Brewers have been the best team in the National League all season long. I think they deserve to move on to the NLDS. So I'm sorry, the NLCS. So I think obviously the Cubs have had a sensational year. I think their manager is going to be up for manager of the year. We all know who he is. He got paid a lot of money leaving his former team, who he's playing right now. And you can understand why the Cubs decided to go that route when they did, because he is a good manager. I just don't think this year, as good as the Cubs have been all season long, I don't know if they have enough depth in their bullpen to beat the Brewers. I know the Brewers do. I don't know if the Cubs do. As far as the other series, I love Philadelphia. I think the Philadelphia Phillies were the best team going into the playoffs. I really did. But the Dodgers, they're so good. They have so much depth. And Jabba, we talked about this many, many times. If the Dodgers get healthy at the end of the season with this roster and this pitching staff, who's going to beat this team? Who's going to beat this team? The roster, the lineup, the pitching staff, the bullpen. I mean, they have all these deferred guys. They're making a ton of money 20 years from now. But nevertheless, they have a chance to win back-to-back World Series. We haven't seen that done. When was the last time we've seen that done? Oh, I remember. That was the New York Yankees. It doesn't happen. It's not usual, and it's not likely to happen. And I'm going to tell you right now, if they beat the Philadelphia Phillies, who's beating this team? I don't think any. Does the Mariners? Does the Blue Jays scare me? Does Detroit scare me, even if you have to see Skubal 3 times with this pitching staff the Dodgers have? Blake Snell is pitching the way he's pitching. I mean, come on, guys. Let's be honest here. I don't think anybody's beating this team. That's why it makes me sick. And I knew this was going to happen. So my thoughts here, Phillies, they're done. There is no way they're winning 3 games in this series in a row. There's no way. Not with this roster. You booked this. I'll say it. I'll say it again. This Dodger team is destined to win a World Series this year. And I'm going to tell you this right now. You ask me right now, today, October 9th, at what time? 8:35 p.m. Errol Marks says the Dodgers are winning the World Series. And it's not even close.
Yeah, the Phillies, I think, are the only team that would have beaten them, too. And again, they had bullpen blunders in game 1. They didn't hit enough. I was mentioning on the show on Monday, they're swinging first pitch for a team that's supposed to be a big walk-in power team and getting on base and stuff like that. And they're swinging first pitch all the time. They finally adjusted their approach in game 3. We'll see if they come back in this game. Jabba was updating us in the private chat. It's 1-1 right now in the 7th inning. So if the Phillies can win this game, obviously game 5, anything can happen. And the Dodgers, in the second half of the season, a lot like the Mets, did lose in clusters at points. So they almost threw away the division because of that. The Padres were very close for a while until the Dodgers beat them head-to-head. Now, the Dodgers bullpen's still a question mark, but everything else is pretty much great. And I agree with you. There's nobody else in the American League or the Brewers, if they do advance, that I think would beat the Dodgers at this point. The Brewers and the Cubs, yeah, the Brewers just have too much depth. The Cubs are top-heavy. I don't think they did enough at the deadline. And the Brewers are taking it personally with the Craig Counsell thing, and they're getting all the fans riled up because of that.
Even if they win this game, they're not beating them in Dodgers
I don't
Stadium.
think so.
They're not doing
The
it.
Brewers they lack too much offense to me to go up against a pitching staff that's good. Remember, Snell pitched great the last month of the season. Yamamoto has been their best pitcher all year, and then now Ohtani's pitching as well, combined with all the other stuff. And Java, like you've been saying on Monday's show, Sasaki out of the bullpen is an interesting weapon too that they've implemented. So they're very creative.
He just threw and got out of the inning, so it's tough. I mean, when you're throwing those guys, and then Glass now came out of the pen, but started today, and so now you just have so many options. And you know, we talked, if they get healthy at this time, you're like, oh, let's throw Sasaki in here, and he's throwing 101 now. It is really tough, and I think obviously the Phils, it's to 3 in a row. It's tough. It's 1-1 right now, going to the bottom of the 8th, but in the other series, I love the NL series. They've been awesome. The Mariners are tougher at home. That is kind of their only
and they still
only solace going in.
They have good depth to play. Like if not to reveal their hand on which starter too. And I think the manager and the front office doing a good job at not doing that. And it'll just be a matter of them weathering the storm, even if they're down 1-0 to get to the Tigers bullpen.
They better get to Tarek Skubal early. If they have any chance, they got to get to him early. If they don't, that game's going to be over.
He's given up solo homers. Like he gave up 2 solo homers, but it's going to take more than that. They're going to have to continue to like add on because don't give him, if you're going to get a homer, that's usually what he gives up, a solo homer, and then he locks in and he's going to give you 7 strong, and he's one of those guys where you're going to literally physically have to take him out of the game. It's not like, oh, I'm at 92 pitches in the stat. Like AJ Hinch will be like, hey, nope, it's your game to go unless you literally are like, I'm gassed, I got to come out. He's going to ride that horse. And
no, I don't think Skubal would do that.
No. I mean, he'd have to have a limb fall off for him to come out of that game if he didn't have to.
I think he did the same. I think he did the same thing last year too, like really laboring through the end of that when they were playing Cleveland in Game 5 too. And I think he allowed 1 run late in that either the 5th or 6th inning, but he even stayed in after that too and made it close. They just I think lost when Lane Thomas hit that grand slam off the bullpen.
I just don't think. And I'm going back to the Phillies, and even if the Phillies win game number 4, if they win game 4 and they take it back to Dodger Stadium, I just don't see it happening. I really don't. The Dodgers are destined to win this series, and whoever comes out of this series is winning the whole thing.
I think so.
So I don't think anybody in the American League, now that the Yankees are out, are going to be able to compete. I thought the way Max Fried looked in the Red Sox series, and you have Cam Schlittler playing like that, you have two pitchers, and even if Rodon's the number 3 in that, and they can get the pitching, and maybe they find a way out of that series against the Blue Jays. Maybe they make a run and put some pressure on the Dodgers if they meet again in the playoff in the World Series. I'm not surprised one bit that the Blue Jays are going to probably match up against, my opinion, the Detroit Tigers. And to me, if that happens, the Tigers are going to the World Series, because I cannot buy into the Blue Jays. I cannot buy into them. I'm sorry, Blue Jay fans, take it or leave it. You can sell it, bat it, hit it, smack it, toss it, if you know what I mean, Speedy. They're not. So that's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the deuce of the day.
The deuce of the day.
You, not a log. I don't have a log, but you know.
So, Fish wrote a couple of things that I could attack. There was a couple of them that I could have went after, and LeBron's decision was an interesting one. I could speak about that a little bit later. But I know everybody couldn't wait to hear my opinion to what happened last Sunday. Well, actually, Saturday night with the old butt fumbler himself, Mark friggin' Sanchez. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Sanchez was drinking. He was in Indianapolis, hanging out, doing whatever he was doing. I don't know what else he was doing on the the sides or the ends of the earth of Indiana, because there's really nothing besides the city part and maybe 20 miles. It's all cornfields. It's all fields. I've been to Indiana. There's nothing big about Indiana. I'm just telling you guys, if you've ever been, I know Job has been there. There's nothing fun about it but the city end, and it's like 20 miles long. That's it. I want to say something about this man. This man is one of the most despicable, disrespectful, butt-fumbling idiots I've ever seen or met, because I did meet Mark Sanchez. The mistake that the New York Jets made when they traded up with the Browns to get this idiot from USC, when Pete Carroll came out and said he's not ready for the NFL. He's a loser. He's always been a loser. AFC title game, it wasn't because of him. It wasn't, everybody wants to Mark Sanchez had to make the throws. How about the defense? How about Rex Ryan's defense? How about the running game the New York Jets had, which was top 3 every single year? What a disrespectful, I was about to say something else, but I'm going to hold my lip because we have guests in the back end. This guy is a complete moron. First of all, how do you get stabbed by somebody and not remember? That's a joke. You had to be really, really drunk not to know when you're getting stabbed. Then you go to the hospital and the detectives are asking you questions on what happened, and you come out and say, I don't remember anything. And you're gonna sell that?
You forget he walked to the store first and knocked on the window.
I'm sorry. That was another stupid thing that he did. You know what? I don't really have to say any more than what I really believe. He should be fired from Fox. He should never be in the media again. This guy needs to disappear off the face of the earth. What a disrespectful thought that this guy was my quarterback for a significant amount of time, that I cheered for this idiot. So my deuce of the day goes to the one and only butt-fumbling idiots of all time, Mark friggin' Sanchez. That's it. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure she's probably scared to talk to me and a celebrity chef. But ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking to CEO of Encourage Kids, Jane Butler, and celebrity chef, a la carte restaurant director, Glenn Rolnick. But first, our Sports Minute with the one and only Fish.
This is the Jabba and the Mouth Sports Minute.
All right, everybody. Aaron Fishman here with your Sports Minute. I'm going to go through a couple of stories before we get into the scores this evening. While her team, for now, the Chicago Sky, missed the playoffs in WNBA, star forward Angel Reese is still making news as she reportedly will be the first athlete walking in the history of the Victoria's Secret fashion show, which returned last year after a 6-year hiatus. I literally could not stop smiling, Reese told People magazine. It's such a surreal and full circle moment. Just last year, I was in the audience manifesting being on that runway, completely inspired and in awe of all the powerful women walking down the runway, and now I get to return as an angel. This will be an unforgettable night that I'll forever be grateful for. Hope I can inspire women and girls everywhere and remind them that we can dominate our field, but also chase our goals outside of it. And for me, that's getting to walk down fashion and entertainment's most iconic runway. Reese, who averaged a double-double with 14.7 points and 12.6 rebounds a game, although many of her me-bounds came off of her own layup misses. The bigger issue with Reese is how she kind of quit on her team, throwing players under the bus as the team struggled late in the season, leading to Reese being suspended for a half, which her teammates didn't even sit anywhere near her, just freezing her out. While Reese deals with that drama, it appears her focus is still on the me part, as opposed to what fans of the W and sports in general would probably prefer. But hey, I've never really met anyone who truly hated that Victoria's Secret show. I'm sure Reese will walk down the runway and looking for more me bounds, as always, will be doing it for the gram in her groundbreaking crossover into the fashion event. And in much more somber news, Louisiana State Police have released video evidence of the fatal car crash that led to now deceased former LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacey's arrest on negligent manslaughter charges, which then led to his suicide on April 12th of this year. Lacey fell off draft radars due to the charge and reportedly fired a gun that led to a police chase that ended with Lacey's death due to a self-inflicted gunshot. Lacey's lawyers are crying foul that Lacey was almost 100 yards away from the accident when it happened, and that Louisiana State Police collected statements days later fingering Lacey, with the video audibly showing the trooper coaching the statement. Make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes to avoid Lacey's green Dodge Charger. The police are standing by the report that Lacey tried to pass the vehicles that crashed, leading to a driver going the other way had to swerve due to the Lacey causing the accident. The video evidence does show this, but Lacey is almost 100 yards past it when the video picks up. Lacey's lawyers may have a point. The police do as well about Lacey's driving. The bigger concern is how the case was handled and how Lacey appeared to be railroaded after the fact, leading to his untimely demise. Prayers to Lacey's family, and especially the family of the 78-year-old man who lost his life in that accident last winter. Only a little bit of sports going on right now. It's the top of the ninth, 2 outs. The Dodgers are tied with the Phillies 1-1 in L.A. And in football, you wouldn't believe it unless I told you the Giants are beating Philly 13-9. It is they just scored, so they're going to go for the extra point. It's 13-10, but the Giants are still leading. That's unbelievable. Didn't expect that to happen. Guys, we are streaming live on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, on our Job in the Mouth handle, on Facebook under the Worldwide Sports Radio Network handle, and on Twitter under our host handle at ErrolMarks34. Keep downloading on Apple Podcasts and watch us both there and on Spotify, now in video. Make sure to like and subscribe to all our shorts, reels, TikToks, and longer videos that you see from us throughout the week. Now back to Errol, Jabba, and Speedy for our guests on Jabba and the Mouth.
Any questions?
We're back. This is the Jabba and the Mouth Show.
Joba. I love Lisa Ann. Joba. Dudu. Joba. Joba is not an athlete. Joba.
631-672-3108 is the number to call. You're listening to the crazy, the wondrous of all. I'm almost losing my voice as I've been screaming for this whole damn show. Jabba in the Mouth. I am the Mouth, the one and only Errol Marks. My co-host, the flamethrower himself, Jabba Chamberlain. He's not wearing a hat tonight, which is a first for me. He has a pretty 8-ball head. Yes, he does. Shaved, clean shaved, and ready to go. And Speedy Petey. Go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Check out all our shows throughout the week, including Jabba and the Mouth, every single Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and check out our local listings for all our shows is go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. And ladies and gentlemen, Jabba in the Mouth is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. And ladies and gentlemen, if you go to Omaha Steaks and hit the Jabba in the Mouth fans clicker, the nice, beautiful logo, 10% off of anything you buy for going to our website as well by going to worldwidesportsradio.com and clicking Omaha Steaks logo. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been selling a lot on the link. You can go to our now. Fantastic. You hit it on our website. It's the Jabba in the Mouth link for Omaha Steaks. We have the Omaha Steaks link on our page. Hit, go to it. 10% off anything you buy. If you buy hundreds of dollars of meats, you get 10% off of it. So, Jabba in the Mouth, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to have these two people on the show. I heard about them, and Speedy asked me, well, you're on vacation. When do you want to get them on the show? And I know Fish came to me, and he told me, he said, listen, this is the first time on a show there. One of them is the CEO. The other one's a celebrity chef. I said, you know what? When I come back from my break, I want to interview them. And I know Jabba said the same thing with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now talking to CEO of Encourage Kids, Jane Butler, and celebrity chef and a la carte restaurant director, Glenn Rolnick. What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Hi, guys.
We're good. I want to ask you, first of all, Jane, I got a chance to read some things about you and some of the background of stuff that you're doing for these kids. And when I was a kid, I had emotional temper problems. I got myself into trouble.
No.
Yeah, I was one of those guys. Jabba knows all about it. Jabba's getting to learn a little bit about me on this show. We've been working together for a year, and he probably thinks I'm the craziest and nuttiest person he's ever met. But when I was a kid, people couldn't control me. Teachers couldn't control me. Parents couldn't control me. They sent me away to all boys schools. Got kicked out of one of them. Fighting. But I learned how to control myself. I learned how to control who I was as a personality. And after that, I was a different person. And I learned how to seize my energy into different things, like yelling and playing sports. So tell us a little bit about your company and what you do for kids.
Well, thank you. It's so nice to see everybody. I do have the Giants-Eagles game on in the background, so I hope that's not a distraction.
We're watching the same thing. We're watching the same thing.
So Encourage Kids Foundation, we are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. And what we do is provide critical programs and services to pediatric patients in hospitals around the country. And one of our signature programs is something called Send a Smile, Send a Bear. And I'd like you guys to meet my friend, Teddy. We got together with FAO Schwartz and we co-created this bear. And Encourage Kids sends this to more than 300 hospital partners around the country. And they absolutely love this program because for the kids, it's a cuddly companion who alleviates, fear and anxiety, but he has a much more important purpose for the medical professionals. They use Teddy to show the child what it's going to be like to get an MRI or to get an IV, in certain cases to get an amputation. So Teddy has therapeutic uses and he has other purposes, and the kids absolutely fall in love with him. And it's a very, very popular program.
Jane, I have a question for you. Now, we have a very famous guy on this show. Everybody knows who he is, as he is called on this show.
Droba.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Droba.
And we want to get involved with something with your organization. I would love to create a Joba Chamberlain teddy bear. Could we do something like that? And we'll get Joba out here. Jabba. And the kid can meet the one and only Jabba Chamberlain with this famous Jabba teddy bear. And if you want to get a crazy arrow marks, or the mouth freaking teddy bear, we could put something together. It'll be one of the biggest jackasses bears. But, to me, Jabba Chamberlain is a very well-known person. And I think Yankee fans know him very, very well. He's a fan favorite. What would you say about doing something like that?
I would say let's do it. We can put a Jabba jersey on Teddy. We can go to hospitals in New York and we can distribute these bears, maybe some toys. Glenn will come and it will be amazing.
All right. So, Glenn, I don't know
Glenn
what
is in the dark. Glenn, it's so dark.
Glenn's hanging out in the car. I'm guessing here. Glenn, are you in the car? Glenn, are you frozen?
Is Glenn there?
He's moving his head. I don't know if he can hear.
I see a portrait. It's not moving. Glenn, are you there? Ladies and gentlemen, is this Glenn Rolnick? Are you there, Glenn? Glenn, do you hear me? Are you there, Glenn? Glenn? Well,
I don't know if he can hear us.
I think Glenn needs to go in and out.
Now can you hear me now?
Yes. I hear you, Glenn.
I was just able to get the volume on.
All right, so
It
ladies
took
and
me a
gentlemen,
while.
this is celebrity chef, a la carte, restaurant director, Glenn Rolnick. Glenn,
hi.
Now, I've never met you before. I know Nathan speaks very highly of you too, and Nathan's in South Africa, flying in helicopters, enjoying himself. Yeah, he's one of the. I'll tell you this, and I have to ask you this, Glenn, and we have a lot of questions to go through with you guys. My question for you is, what made you become a celebrity chef? What made you get into food? That's a good question to ask for a celebrity chef.
First thing is, I grew up in a family with 4 brothers. Mom and dad both worked, so I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I went to a community college. All of a sudden, it's like, yeah, I'll cook dinner. And I started cooking dinner for the house and for all the brothers. And then the neighbors are like, can you do some parties for us? Can you do some things? So that became my CIA route. So I became, a CIA chef. And right out of culinary school, I went to the top hotels in New York City. I was a chef at the Carlisle first, the Algonquin, the United Nations Plaza, the Elwood Country Club, and I just got to meet some of the most famous, wonderful people. And it was amazing. It was an amazing journey for me. I love it, and I love the people I get to work with, and I love doing these type of fundraisers for sure. They mean so much to me.
So I was telling this to Jabba too, because it's actually one of his favorites. Carmine, I went to 2 years ago after I went to go see Hamilton with my family on Broadway, and it was amazing. Yeah. And I know Jabba, I think Jabba tweeted recently that's his favorite New York City Italian restaurant too. So
yeah, they said dinner's on them when I come back to the city. I saved it just in case. I'm not throwing it out there. They said it.
Does that mean that we all can go get some dinner? That should be fair over here. I mean, we're a group of guys. We're doing a show together. How about we do a show at Carmine's? How about that?
Sounds good to me, of course.
We go.
Yeah, so I wanted to know some of the ideas that you had with obviously you're saying your culinary talents. I know you had the recipe books too. I was looking that up online, the recipe books, and we even actually some of the vodka sauce jars still from when we went there. It was fantastic. So how did that come about? Like the origin of all those recipes and just finding that company.
Well, the whole thing came about was Artie Cutler came up with the idea because of course, only family style dining was not really relevant in big restaurants or in Times Square. People are going to see shows. They're going to Broadway. They're going to, to visit, to do walks around. And there was no place where you can get like a family of 6 or a group of 10 or 12 people in that was easy to feed that many people off of a couple of big platters like you would have in your old, family house. So Artie Cutler came up with the idea, created it, and it's been 35 years that Carmine's has been in business. And it's just something where people who come into the city, it's like, I gotta go to Carmine's. And we get so many celebrities. I got people knocking at my door, like, can you please get us in? Because it's very difficult to get a reservation. But we're very proud of that, and we love that it's a unique concept. When Gene came forward to me and asked me to be a participant in this and co-chair it, it means the world to me, and it means the world to Carmine's and to Virgil's, our other sister restaurant. So we love it. I'm so proud to be a part of it. And, I've been with the company over 23 years, and it just means so much to me to be part of it and to be so relevant in this, in this food industry.
Yeah, Glenn, it's we all love food, some more than others, but I've always wondered, and I've got the opportunity to meet some chefs in New York or whatever, and I always ask the one question, and it's obviously family and other, but there has to be one moment when you were cooking or you made something where you're like, okay, it's like when we make a pitch or we do something, we're like, okay, I know this. Was there that one moment that it was either something you made or where you were at when you were like, this is what I was born to do and I'm going to go full force with it no matter what, because this is a passion that I didn't know I had?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because the story I'm going to tell you is very unique and funny. So as I say, my first opportunity was at the Carlisle out of culinary school. And they were very famous celebrities. Liz Taylor was a regular. They lived there. Paul Newman, Robert Redford, Warren Beatty, Cheryl Teagues, they all lived there. So one of the days, Cheryl Teagues comes down to me in the kitchen and says, Chef Glenn, I need you to do me a favor. I'm bringing 25 lobsters back from Maine with me. Can you figure a way to cook these for me 5 different ways? And I did it for her, and she was so blown away. I cooked, liver for Liz Taylor's dog all the time. And it was like, I became rich just cooking dinner for Liz Taylor's dog. She'd come down and hand me $50. I'm like, whoa, back in that day, that was a lot of money for a tip. But those are some unique stories. Again, being in the business and being able to work in some of these real fine establishments has really gotten me closer to a lot of sports celebrities, a lot of celebrities in general, actors, actresses, just people in the music. I'm very close with the iHeartRadio, executives and teams there. So I love it. That's so much fun, part of my job. And even getting to talk to you gentlemen, it just means so much to me. And I'm very proud of these moments.
As everybody knows, we are talking to CEO of Encourage Kids, Jane Butler, and celebrity chef and a la carte restaurant director, Glenn Rolnick. I've worked with so many different kids over the years. I love kids. I think kids are sensational. Watching them grow, and sometimes when they're 2 or 3, they get a little loud, they're crazy, they cry, but I just love being around them. I on the side, I DJ, I do a lot of work with kids. I give a lot of time and entertaining young kids at young parties as well. I do a lot of big events. But what is it like, Jane, when you get a chance to see a kid and hang out with a child and you could put a smile on their face? What is it like to see something like that and have all these kids? When you speak to them, you give out these nice teddy bears, these cute little teddy bears. What is it like when a kid comes up to you and says, thank you for thinking of me?
Oh, I mean, it's really indescribable. And we do events at our partner hospitals. We just did one 2 weeks ago. And the look on the children's faces when they received our bears, and we also distributed toys to them, was really priceless. And these children in the hospital had very, very complex medical issues. So that was tough, I think, to be among them and see all the love that the staff of the hospital has for these children. And then the fact that we're able to bring them some joy, even if it's for just a little while. I really can't describe how fulfilling that is. And we've been talking recently about, foundation work and mission-driven work and work with a purpose. And I am a believer in that really does lead to true fulfillment.
And we were talking about maybe making a Jabba bear. I know Jabba would like that, but I think he would even like if we can get like a baseball in his hand and maybe turn it into my face. So, and put like hair on top of it. So it looks like I'm a baseball, so he can throw me around and beat me up. Because sometimes, or you could just give him a little teddy bear with a picture of me and he's choking me or something. I think kids would enjoy that. No, I know Jabba would enjoy that, but I don't think kids would think that was very nice. But anyways,
we can get creative. We can get creative with the accessories.
Oh,
What we really need is a Nithin bear with a
no,
blue
no, we
flamethrower.
don't need a Nithin bear. Because if you get a Nithin bear, I don't know if anybody's seen Nithin go out in public, okay? I love the kid. Now, Nithin became a media guy because he became a fan of this show. It was me and Speedy started the show, and now Jabba, we've been working together for a year, and the show has just taken off. And Nithin was a big fan of us 3-4 years. It was 5 years ago. It was a little bit over 5 years
It was
ago.
at least 2019 because he was calling it a third and long. I remember.
Yeah, third and long. And he watched the show and he fell in love with the show. And then he started doing his own media stuff. And then he was asking me questions. What do I need to do? Where do I go? What do I do? And he's done a lot of crazy things. He goes out. He works with so many people. He's such a likable person. But I'm going to tell you right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That guy does not know how to dress. He is the worst dresser
Really?
I have ever seen in my entire life. Nithin is the worst. Have you ever seen a guy, I'm just speaking the truth here, that wears camouflage pants, all right? Wears a red, polo shirt and a blue blazer every time he goes out to an event. This man does this. I think he just wants to stick out in the public eye so everybody can look at him and say, "Who's that guy?"
Well, he has to stand out. He's only 5'6".
That's another thing. I mean, it's so funny when you hang out with Nithin. I love the kid. He came out for my birthday. It was the first time I met him. He came out for my birthday.
He was the most drunk there, believe me.
He was drunk. Now, a drunk Indian guy who he wears the same clothes every single time. And I'm telling you, he wears the same clothes from 5 years ago. There it is. There's the famous clothes right there. I mean, come on, man. He is definitely
It's
a unique
true.
guy.
I do see him a lot like that.
Oh my God.
He's so sweet, though. He's so sweet.
Sweetest guy you'll ever meet.
Yes.
He is the sweetest, most caring person. He's been a force for us. He's doing our PR work. He's great. He's a great kid. He's just a funny guy. He loves it. And when he does things the way he does, I'll show you what we have of his. Okay. We have a Nithin board, ladies and gentlemen. I have to show you guys this. I know Jabba's probably going to crush me on this. Here it goes.
Do you have enough time is the question for this.
We do. All right. So I'm going to give you a couple of them. You guys ready for this? Here we go. This is the Nithin board. All right. Soundboard for Nithin. Here we go.
Breaking news. A lot of hot ladies. Breaking news. I'm putting you on a leash now. Breaking news. Give me that chicken curry. Breaking news. Bagel hole. Breaking news. Glory hole. Breaking news. I got to go back off now.
Now, this is the man that comes out, and I got him recording these crazy things. I love this kid. He is one of the straight personalities you'll ever meet. I love him so much that I have to make a board. Now, we have a board for everybody, and I crack jokes all the time about everybody. I don't lose anybody on this show. I get Jabba too. Yeah, Jabba, we got some good ones for Jabba too. You guys ready for this one? This is great.
The rah-rah shish kumbah. He tastes himself. That went over like a fart in church. Another toe job. Sometimes I sit on it.
So there are things that we get people to do, or he says these things and we cut it and chop it up. We got a board op guy over here cutting and chopping it up, and they give it to me and they say, go ahead, do what you want with it. And boy, oh boy, that's what makes our show. We are a crazy bunch of guys. We love to entertain people. We're different. So, Glenn, I know you, as far as the product that you put out there at Carmine's and as a chef, what sticks out more than anything when it comes to somebody coming up to you and telling you, man, you're the best chef I've ever had food from, or you're the way you cook this, or the way you cook that, or the way your other guys cook those foods, it's some of the best tasting foods I've ever had. What is it? What makes you happy when somebody comes up to you and gives you a compliment?
Truthfully, you have to put love into food, and food has to have flavor. It also has to have abundance, but first and foremost, it has to look good and it has to taste good. When somebody's telling you that they enjoy it, and we have, 6 locations of Carmine's and 2 of Virgil's, and it's like, you want the food to taste the same in all the locations. Mm-hmm. That means so much to me when it says, I had it in like 2 or 3 of your locations and it always tastes the same. It always tastes great. And it just means so much when somebody complements the food that's coming out of your kitchens. Your staff is putting it together. I swear, I put a smile on my face every time somebody has a compliment like that. When they come to these things, when we did this, encourage kids over the last couple of years, and you have people that come, we got to have your eggplant, or we got to have your meatballs. It seriously, it hits home. It's like growing up. This is what we all look for. It's like we taught how to cook by flavor, by taste, and by what it looks like. And if it hits all those things and it's where you want it to be and your customers are coming back for more, it really hits you in the heart. I tear up sometimes when somebody says that to me, and I'll walk right in my kitchen and tell my guys, that person just came. And a lot of times they're VIPs, they're famous people. Like Gloria Gaynor, I just took care of yesterday, at Virgil's, and she's a very close friend of mine. And her and Melinda Doolittle, who was a American Idol, runner-up, the birthday party was 2 days ago, and they were so excited to try Virgil's. They eat Carmine's all the time. So I said, you want to come to Virgil's? I want you to try something different. I'm telling you, she didn't stop talking, and Gloria's like, I got to give you 2 recipes I need you to put in this restaurant. And it just means the world to me. It's like, you love the food that much that you want to put your name on something, that we put out of the kitchen. It really caught me in the heart.
Glenn, guys, hold on one sec. We got to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Of course.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver. I'm also Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport.
Twice a day, making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to apologize to all the fans. There was a little bit of a surge over here in Long Island, New York. I don't know. It's cooler now. It's not like it is in Nebraska. We're back to that cooler weather. I love it. This is my favorite time of the year. I think it's a little bit colder now, but I want to apologize to Jane. I want to apologize to Glenn, and Mr. Chamberlain was probably filling in, probably telling him how crazy I really am. I want to apologize to all the fans that are tuning in. If they missed anything, you didn't miss anything. All you missed is a couple commercials. Anyways, getting back to it. Go ahead.
So I wanted to ask both of you because Nathan was mentioning to me you both have a partnership, obviously, with the Yankees. I know, obviously, that's how Java had the connections, obviously, with Carmine's. I don't know, Java. I don't know if you've had the barbecue place with Glenn's place, but there's collaborations with the Yankees. Like, talk about that, like the origins of all that. Even go back to even before Java was there too.
I guess I can go first. We actually would love a connection with the Yankees. We know how much children mean to the Yankees, so maybe we can talk afterwards and try to get something going there. We're always looking for professional sports athlete ambassadors for our programs, and it would be incredible if we were able to strike up a partnership.
I think Glenn's muted again.
Yep.
Glenn, you're muted.
I'll unmute it.
Okay.
There he goes.
I got it. Yeah. So I've been a celebrity chef in Yankee Stadium many times, and I've had the opportunity to meet many of the Yankees, of course, including Mariano, who's one of my favorites. But I love working with them. The chefs all know who I am. I've been there probably at least 15 times cooking there. So we definitely have a connection with them. They love Carmine's, they love Virgil's, and we would be open to anything they want to do with us.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. Going back to, the kids and everything like that, I remember I had the opportunity to be an ambassador for Sloan Memorial Kettering. And Jane, when you said just the smiles on those faces, and it's not like you're doing a lot, you're giving them a few minutes to kind of put a smile on their face and do those things. And what is, for me, it's like when you do it, you get that feeling, and like you both said, like it creates the purpose. Like, beyond the purpose, where do you want it to go even further? Because you get that one stepping stone right, and you create that purpose, and you create this. Like, where would you like to see it go?
Yeah, I think for Encourage Kids Foundation, we play a pretty critical role in hospitals these days. They actually look to us to help fill in the gaps of their programs and services, because hospital budgets often don't cover everything that they need. And our other program, our pediatric hospital support program, really gives us a window into the trends that are occurring nationwide in hospitals. And as a result, we have been able to help fund programs like pet therapy, creative arts therapy, playroom renovations, innovation and technology, and sensory adaptive play. And interestingly enough, we've noticed a trend happening in grief therapy programming. And we have been funding grief therapy programs for hospitals as well. So we need to build on this kind of relationship and success, if you will. We need to increase our revenue so that we can then give more money to programs like that and to hospitals to benefit sick children. So talking to you guys today goes a long way for us, because we are quite well known within the hospital community. We are not as well known among the general public. So we're really appreciative and grateful for the opportunity to talk about Encourage Kids today.
First of all, we are very happy to have you guys on. I know when Jabba reached out to me, he said, we're going to have two very special people on the show. And we had the conversation, and we were excited to get you guys. Everybody that we interview, and Jabba could obviously admit to this as much as I do, what makes it so unique is we can interview anybody. We can interview movie stars. We interview writers. We interview media guys and ex-athletes, Hall of Famers. We've interviewed so many people. And what makes it so fun and so interesting is getting to know people in a different light, getting to understand what they're doing to help the community, help different people. And obviously food and helping kids are really everything you want when it comes to an organization and building something together. So it really is pretty amazing what you guys are doing. I have a question for both of you. How do you guys know each other, and how did you guys mix up and connect with one another and work together over the last year, 2 years, 3 years?
Glenn?
Go ahead, Gene.
Okay. So Glenn and Carmine's and a la carte,
A while back.
they have been involved
Can you
with
hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Do you want to take
Having
this,
some
Glenn?
trouble with the sound.
Oh, you haven't. Just go in and go out, Glenn. Go in and go out. Just go in and out. It's probably something with your internet. Just go in and out, and you'll come back into the scope, and you'll be good.
So they've been involved with our organization for several years now. And I've never called Glenn and had him say no to any request. He's a pretty amazing person, extremely charitable person, as is the owner of a la carte, Jeff Bank. And we are very fortunate to align ourselves with altruistic people like that. You brought up food and charity, and I don't think we've told you, and of course you're invited, all of you. We are hosting a culinary event on October 27th at Chelsea Piers, and it's a fundraiser for Encourage Kids. Glenn will be there making his world famous eggplant parmesan. We have a number of other New York restaurants like high-end Loy, Sushi Yolo, Bryant Park Grill, Virgil's will be there, Uncle Jack's Steakhouse, One Rare, One If by Land, Two If by Sea. We have some drink purveyors like Zier Vodka and Owl's Brew and Landmark Vineyards. It's a fantastic time. We have a DJ. And the vibe is incredibly fun and positive, and everyone is united by this mission to help sick children. So you're invited.
Now, if I was invited. Now, if you knew I was a DJ, you could have came to me.
I know. I didn't know that. I can't believe you said that, and I made a mental note.
It's all right. It's all right. It's good. But I do a lot of. I do a lot of celebrity parties. I've actually had a couple athletes invite me to their parties to DJ. I told you, Jabba is getting married next year.
Wow.
And I said,
Congratulations.
yes, Jabba is no longer going to be single.
I don't know. I don't know if I haven't seen any of your DJing skills, so I don't know.
Wait a second. Are you going to test me? Are you going to test me?
I mean, I haven't heard a mixtape or anything. So
I'll tell you what.
So Jane, we'll have to see the product before we
Yeah, exactly. Before we sign on the dotted line.
First of all, I'm going to tell you, my executive producer. It's a funny story. I just, me and my executive producer have known each other for probably over a year, and the funny story is, I was DJing for 3 years, from 23 to 26. I traveled around the world with a lot of very well-known, famous DJs. And this kid was in Amsterdam the same time I was DJing, and probably was watching me live in Amsterdam when he was at these raves that I was DJing at. So the funny story is that my executive producer probably seen me DJ and never even knew it was me. And that was like, it has to be about 17 years ago, 16 years ago. It's been a long time. I'm 43, so it's a long time. So it's a funny story. But I've been doing it since I was 15. I started with records, then I went to CDs, and then this. First of all, most of the DJs out here, and I'm just going to take a shot at all you guys. All you guys are button pushers. You got to listen to the music. You got to mix. You got to blend and hear it. And make sure that you listen to the people dancing to it. Make sure that you're playing what they're vibing to, not what you're vibing to in your little earphones. So I don't like it when I go to a party and I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? I don't know what the hell he's doing. But I'm not trying to attack people. I'm just telling you the truth. But anyways, before we let you guys go, and I don't want to scare you guys off, because I want you to be fans of the show. I don't want you to run away.
Oh, we are. We're big fans.
Absolutely.
we love you guys, and we would love to do a live show. And I will talk to Jabba. We would love to do something with you, obviously, Gene. And by the way, Gene, we're working with a company too, a nonprofit organization moving forward and for sports and helping children and stuff like that. We'll talk off air. We would love to band together with you. Fish and his wife are going to be the backbone of it. Jabba and me, we're going to be working with it too. It's going to be really, really fun moving forward. But we would love to do something during the holidays with you guys, and we would love it.
Yes.
We'll talk to Jabba. Jabba, are you up for this? He looks like he's up for it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the holidays in New York are my favorite time.
Yes.
Actually,
Agreed.
my son and I are going to be out
crazy.
there. I know.
Yep.
It's his favorite time
definitely
too.
crazy.
So,
well,
yeah,
I
come
want
visit, but let me know ahead of time because it does get crazy.
Well, that's what I want to do. We would love to do a live show at Carmine's. We would love to do a live show. It'd be fun, entertaining for the fans.
It would.
We'll have obviously Eugene and some of the stuff that you guys are doing. We'll promote what you guys are doing. We'll promote Carmine's there. We'll do a live show in the restaurant to entertain all the fans, and maybe have one or two special guests that'll come in and interview live with us at the event.
Nice.
We would love to do that.
Absolutely.
We would love to do that.
I love that idea. And Carmine's is always a party. So this is perfect.
Jabba, what do you think?
It's food and a party. Like, you don't really have to twist my arm that much. as long as if I get Glenn's eggplant parm, I'm in.
Yep.
I'm in.
Now I like eggplant rollatini. That's what I like. I'm not a big eggplant person, but you know what? Glenn's making it. He's the famous chef.
Yes.
I will eat it. I will eat it, Glenn. I know he's probably having problems with his camera. It looks like he is.
You know, Glenn's is not fried. It's baked. It's so light and delicious. And he'll be serving it at our event, Serving Up Smiles, on October 27th.
Well, the fried clams I had were good when I went. Those were definitely good fried ones. I just described it before. Like Java, what we did with my family, we had like all these 6 platters, different things, and I think I had I don't remember the name of it now, the chicken prosciutto one, which was really good.
Guys, I can't hear you.
All right, go in and go out. I'm gonna throw him out, and Glenn, just come right back in. Come right back in, Glenn.
You just said I'm gonna throw him out like you're a bouncer.
Yeah, because he can't hear us. So I'm gonna let him come back in. So that was the only way to get him to come back in, because he can't see us. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jane.
I'm not totally sure where he was calling from, but
he's in his car for some reason on this show. There he is. There's Glenn.
There he is.
Somebody, what's going on over here? Somebody in an accident or something around here?
That's sorry, guys. I live in Midtown. There are always sirens.
Well, I will say this. I really appreciate you guys. We are absolutely up for doing this. We would love to do something with Eugene and with obviously encourage kids and your company and your corporation. And we would love to go over there at Carmine's and do a live show before the year is over. Jabba will come out here. We will have a lot of fun. We'll entertain you guys. I think it'll be great. What do you guys say?
I say yes. Glenn?
Glenn is,
Glenn's going to say yes.
He's going to say
silence means dissent. So
Yeah.
Silence is golden, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I want to let you know something. Do not, if you're going to Carmine's and you're going out to eat at Carmine's, do not watch the Ed Gein story. I'm just telling you, do not watch Monster and Ed Gein story if you're going out to Carmine's to eat. Nothing on that.
Why?
Oh, you watch it. You come back and we'll talk off it.
Okay. I probably shouldn't have asked that.
When you watch
Yeah,
it,
because now you're curious and you want
Yes,
to know what it's about. Yeah.
I am, exactly.
You're more than welcome to go and check out the series. It's great, by the way. The Monster series are sensational on Netflix. It is a creeper of a series.
I've actually read a little blurb, and yeah, I'm hearing that women are falling for that guy for some reason.
Now I want to tell you guys something. I don't want you guys to get scared off. I knew all about Ed Gein. When I was a kid, I was interested in serial killers, and I wrote a story. Well, there was a report that I had to figure out something to write about. So I told my teacher when I was in 9th grade, I want to write about serial killers. I'm going to study serial killers in 9th grade. And I studied them, and I was like, wow, this is interesting. And I started studying all these different serial killers from all different parts, of decades. And it was so interesting, and I got very interested. Now,
okay, hold on. We're talking about serial killers. Glenn, can you hear us?
Now I can. Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay, perfect. We have this conversation with everybody because we think Errol's a serial killer because he doesn't eat string cheese like a normal person. He takes full bites of string cheese. He's a serial killer, right?
Listen, I like string cheese. What is the difference if you open the wrapper and you just chew on the string cheese? All right, look.
That's Errol. That's him.
I do know people who eat it that way.
Listen, I like cheese. I want to eat it. I don't want to peel. I don't like peeling things. I just want to. I inhale things. I inhale them.
That one I can agree with you on. I know many people who just eat it like chunks.
I'm liking this guy. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of his. See, Jabba?
I thought we were gonna. We got to keep a board from the guests who say you're a serial killer and who doesn't.
They all probably think it, but hey, if you watch this show, you would know that I love to have fun and we love to make people laugh. And this is not one of those shows that you go like, oh, they're just talking about sports. This is a boring show. We want people to say, wow, those guys are interesting, unique, cool. I would love to hang out with those guys. So that's what we try to be, and we don't even try to be it. That's who we are. So
mission accomplished.
Well,
that's great. Yep.
Chef and the one and only CEO. We really appreciate what you guys are doing right now for kids, what you're doing for food, and we will talk off air. We'll have Nathan, obviously communicate with you because Nith
absolutely
is the blue blazer. He's the blue blazer. Okay, so he is gonna.
We'll make it work.
He's gonna fly. Okay, with hopefully not a helicopter because we don't want to see him do that anymore. But in South Africa, by the way, he was. One more thing. Did anybody see him post up? He was at the studios in South Africa.
Yes, I did.
What the hell is Nathan doing at a radio studio in South Africa? I mean,
it sounded like he knew somebody.
This guy
he knows a lot of people.
Boy, does he ever, man. Boy, does he ever.
Does.
Not
what
ever.
What is he even doing in South Africa? What?
It's a family trip, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Nathan, every year, his parents like to take him and his brother out to different parts of the world. And this year it was South Africa. Yeah. So
very cool.
I've known Nathan for now 5-6 years. He's a big fan of mine, and I'm a fan of his because he makes me laugh. Every time he calls me, it's like, yo, Errol, hey. I'm like, Nathan, speak. You called me. Stop with this hate crap. Just say hello. Hello. I don't get this. I don't get it. But, I love him. He's funny.
Speaking of Nathan just sent us in our group chat. He goes, I didn't know Glenn was going to be in his car.
You know why? I'm sorry, because my dog doesn't stop barking, so I had to walk out and be in my car. I'm sorry. That's why the service is going in and out. But the dog would have annoyed the entire show.
Blame it on the dog. That's all.
It's a loud puppy,
Aw. Should have given him one of your recipes. He would have been distracted. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. This was fun.
Absolutely. And we'll talk to you.
Had a great time.
We'll talk to you guys off air. And we're absolutely interested in working with you guys.
Excellent.
Our pleasure.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, guys.
And one more.
Soon.
And one more.
Droba.
Yes.
Droba. I love Lisa Ann.
As he formally tells us all the time. He loves, or my girlfriend. Oh, this is a good one.
Breaking news. I need Brittany also.
Yeah,
right?
there
I
he
mean,
goes.
even for her birthday.
There he goes. It's her birthday. So we'll sing happy birthday at the end of the show. Gene and the one and only man they call Glenn. We really appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Have a great weekend.
We will, and everybody should, even though the Yankees were eliminated and everybody's crying. Jabba was on the MLB Network, hanging out on the MLB Network today, trying to figure out ways to make excuses for that godforsaken team. I'm just kidding. I'm wearing a Yankee hat, so you know Yankee fans. I got to be honest with you guys. I wasn't very happy with Jazz Chisholm. I mean Chisholm, as you guys know. On our show, it's Chisholm. Anyways, we love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Be
Thank
well.
you.
Take care.
We were just speaking to the CEO of Encourage Kids, Gene Butler, and celebrity chef and a la carte restaurant director, Glenn Rolnick. Fantastic. It was a great interview. They had a lot of fun with us. Jabba lost his hair even more. Or he was already bald, but you know what I mean. There's the little prickles coming out of the back of his head. Thank God he was definitely getting goosebumps because he was probably thinking that I was going to tell him what I was watching on Ed Gein. That would have definitely scared them. That's for damn sure.
You can eat string cheese however you want if we get to do a show at Carmine's. That sounds great to me. Let's do that.
100%.
There we go.
You can eat it as weird as you want and in serial killer ways as you want, Errol.
There you go.
And P.S., can we not say jism when there's a woman on the show?
That's a good
point. She didn't even know what I was talking about.
I know, but still, I did.
It went over her head. She had no idea what I was talking about with that.
I was like, oh, don't go there.
Uncouth.
Listen,
the word is uncouth.
Listen, you can uncouth the little rattler or lattle daddle guy. What is his name? Mr. Rattler. Anyways, we call this the one and only Fish's Play of the Week.
This is great about sport. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
This is Play of the Week.
All right, guys, I got a really cool play for you this week. This comes from the London game where the Vikings ended up doing one of the cooler plays you're going to see. And when I say cooler plays, I'm talking about from an X's and O's standpoint as a football coach. So here it is. This is a trick play. It's not just any kind of running back pass to the tight end here. So we see it's some kind of wildcat formation. But I want you to click to watch the center and right guard, whose butt you see right here in the picture on the right, looking back at the running back. They're both going to pull. Why are they going to pull? They technically don't have anybody on them. There seems to be a 4-eye or a gap player to the right, and we have a 2-eye or inside the guard, not on the center. So they're going to pull both of these uncovered linemen. The other guys are going to block for him, and he's going to lead out. If you know anything about football, when guards pull, with the running back going on a sweep look type of trajectory, the linebackers must step up. Look how open the tight end gets on this play, drawn up by the great Speedy. Give me the name of coach. O'Connell, right? Yes. Kevin O'Connell. Look at this play. This is incredible. Guys do not get open like this in the NFL unless you have quite a genius play call. I assume they were waiting for the 4-eye, 2-eye look here, or the gap and 2-eye look, so they can run this with these two guys pulling. Look at all of the linebackers. Nobody covers Josh Oliver. It's a great touchdown. The coach schemed it up. That's why it's Fish's Play of the Week.
You like that, Speedy? Could you give me a growl? Now you're really scaring people. What the hell is that? I've lost Will.
I think the only noise you like is my dog bark. That's it.
No, I mean that was like a drag of something, that somebody was pulling something up your rear end or something.
Yeah, maybe if the leash finally got some.
I guess yeah.
I'm putting you on a leash now.
Now somebody's putting Josh on. Josh is going to be put on a leash after this show because after what I listened to on that rubbish. And some of the things and some of his takes on the Yankees, because he is a Met fan. I am going to have to speak to him off air about his take. Yes, but I love him. I love him, ladies and gentlemen. And look, I compliment him when I'm on the show. And by the way, you can check out his show on our show. Speedy, you are the producer of the show.
Yes, Game On, Thursday nights at 6 p.m. This time for today, they actually followed us because we're on Thursday tonight. But yes, Game
Thursday on. Because I was in Florida.
Yes.
Flow as I rid of the duh. I rid the duh, Okay, you lost it. All right, Speedy's 6-pack of the week.
Let's have a sixer.
Hey, who wants to play Drink the Beer?
Speedy 6-pack of the week.
I farted. Do you want to jerk me off?
All right, so we're supposed to have Wes as well. I'm still waiting for him to come in. We do have Johnny Reno joining us. And Java, looked like this on audio right now. We'll have the coin come through. So since Wes is not here for the time being, let's start with his favorite, the primetime game. We'll start with Sunday Night Football for this week. The Bills are 4.5-point favorites on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. We'll start with Sunday Night Football. I'm going to take Buffalo to cover the spread. I do think it'll be a close game, tight, low-scoring game. Give me the Bills. Let's go to you, Johnny, and then we'll go with Fish, and we'll go to the coin. We'll finish with Errol.
I think it's going to be hard for me to back anything away. I don't like that at all. It's going to be hard for me to say anything about the Bills after a tough loss, but I'm going to go with the Falcons, the home side. Basically looking for a letdown spot with the Bills, and I think the Falcons off a bye might be dangerous.
All right, Wes has arrived. Wes, is the only primetime game this week, but we're starting with it with the Bills and the Falcons. Bills 4.5-point favorites.
Wait, say that again?
So this is the only primetime game this week. Don't worry, Wes. Bills are 4.5-point favorites on the road at Atlanta. So I went with the Bills to cover. Johnny picked Atlanta to go plus 4.5.
Yeah, so I looked at actually putting cash on that game. I looked at actually putting cash on that game and taking Atlanta at home.
All right.
So the two of you guys went Atlanta at home, 4.5. Kind of hard to argue. I'm going to go Atlanta at home as well. I think the Bills might pull that one out, but it might be a field goal game. They're just not banging on all cylinders right now, especially on the road. You got the coin, Jabba?
Jabba's coin.
Believe it. And I even got it. You know what? I just picked a random one. Honestly, like I didn't make this up, and I actually got Nebraska.
Interesting.
And I got tails, so I got the Bills.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the Billy Bills. I have the Bills winning out against Atlanta in Atlanta. I love Bijan Robinson. I think he's going to have a fantastic game. He'll probably put up a 30 spot if you're a fantasy. Yes, what happened? What happened? What happened?
Jobber, you watching that? It's terrible.
Kettering literally got a ball back to him, bases loaded, and he airmailed it to home. They walked it off.
He had so
way.
much. He had so much time to get to first. So much time to get to first. He panicked because it did bounce off him.
Yeah, they were even yelling, "Go to first."
Yeah, the catcher was pointing first.
Wow.
He was about halfway down the line when he got the ball.
He wasn't even running.
He had so much time. They're showing it again.
But the Dodgers walked off literally on an error.
On an error.
Wow.
Dealer's choice there, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
Crazy.
Philadelphia wins, right?
Yeah.
Dodgers advance.
No,
Dodgers advance.
Oh, okay.
Dodgers advance.
Dodgers advance on an error.
All right.
Another
Next game, Speedy.
All right, let's go to the Seahawks at the Jaguars. Jaguars are 1.5-point favorites. I'm going to go with Seattle here on the road. Johnny, what do you got?
I'm sorry, who's the home team?
Jacksonville is home. They're 1.5-point favorites.
I'm going to take Jacksonville. This is like a prime letdown spot, and I understand that. This is prime letdown spot. I'm not sold on Seattle traveling across the country in a game where they're only catching 1.5 points. This is kind of a team where I don't really buy into their offense. Their offense has been really good. I do think Jacksonville is for real this year. I'm going to go against the grain, not take the letdown spot, take Jacksonville. I would probably money line the 1.5 depending on the price, but I do like Jacksonville in the spot.
Wes,
what do you got?
Yeah, I'm with Johnny. I'm gonna take Jacksonville on this one. Seattle is coming off of a game where a lot of points were scored. Both teams ran up and down the field and they lost it, and now they're going to travel across the country. The Jacksonville Chiefs game, I'm not saying it because they live in Kansas City, but that Jacksonville Chiefs game with a new head coach kind of had a feel of if they would have lost it in a disappointing fashion, it would have meant something different than what ended up happening, which was they won. They beat the Chiefs. They beat Mahomes. The crowd was involved. It just kind of felt like a new regime type win. Trevor Lawrence, he had a moment. 1.5 just feels like a gift here. On this one, I'm gonna look at taking some plus money and laying probably 5.5.
Interesting. I I think I'm into the Seahawks. I really like JSN. I think they just went toe-to-toe with a really good Tampa team. I agree with the travel. I'm a little worried about the travel. I just think Jacksonville's not as good as that record, and I think Seattle's better than their record. I think this is kind of an evening out game here. Give me Seattle.
Ooh, I got the home team, baby.
All right, I'm on the Jags. He's picking the
On
Gremlin. All right, so let me show you guys.
He hasn't done me well.
Let me show you something. See this thing right here? I got a custom-made jersey for this idiot, all right? Him dancing and prancing around with his stupid... First of all, he doesn't even have a touchdown in 5 weeks. And everybody's cheering for this guy like he's the next up-and-coming superstar. Najigba is having a good year. Now, the only reason why Fish is in love with Najigba is because we have a bet with him. But I have a bet with him. I do believe Seattle's going to win this game. I don't think Jacksonville is any good. I know they're 4-1 and everybody's cheering for them. And I think that they're going to compete with Indianapolis in that division. Indianapolis is by far the better team in that division. It's not even an argument. Jacksonville's overrated. And I don't want to hear about Kansas City. They beat a bad Kansas City team. They're not good. This isn't the same Kansas City Chiefs team we were talking about 3-4 years ago. This is an old Kansas City Chief team. By the way, Chris Jones. Yes, Chris Jones canceled his social medias. Yes.
Save it. That's my What's That Smell. Don't step on my What's That Smell.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that Chris Jones canceled his social medias because he can't handle the fact that people are
I'll talk about the play and another play from the first week of the season. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry. I just had to say that. But, yeah, I'm going Seattle. I'm just going Seattle.
All right, next one, Speedy.
Go to the big spread of the week. The Cincinnati Bengals at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 14-point favorites. Johnny, I know you were on the Saints when they were 15-point favorites against the Bills a few weeks ago, and you got that one right. I know, Wes, you've been against a lot of double-digit spreads in the past, too. Minus 14 seems like a lot. I'm actually going to take the Bengals to cover the spread.
No question about it. I'm not laying 14 in the NFL, and for me, it's either you're going to take the points or pass on the game in the NFL. The Bengals are actually in a very precarious position. Joe Flacco could be one of the few quarterbacks to ever beat a team twice in the same season with two different teams. I do think that, as crazy as it seems, I do think this is a massive upgrade at the quarterback position for the Bengals. They do have two playmakers. They bring in a guy that is a veteran that will be able to score on this offense. I picked him up from one of my fantasy leagues because I have Jamar Chase, so I expect big things from him. 14 points is a lot of points. I do think they hang around. I do think they're going to be in a spot late to win this game, but always take the 14. I'll sprinkle a little bit of action on the money line, but plus 14 for me.
Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, so I'm against laying this many points in the NFL, but I am going to lay it in this spot, the 14.5, and a variety of different reasons. The first reason is if you look at the wins that Green Bay has thus far this season, throw out the Colts, because I think the Colts and the Lions are the two best teams that have been on their schedule. But the Colts right now are a very respectable team. That's how they're performing. That was a single-digit victory. But every other win they have on their schedule has been double digits. Double-digit victory against the Lions. Double-digit victory against the Commanders. 9 against the Commanders. They are winning these games big. This is at Lambeau. This is coming off a bye. Green Bay has absolutely no questions on their roster at all. They have a solid coach. You now in Cincinnati, their defense is terrible. That's there's no debating that. But you now have made a move addressing the fact that you have a disaster at the quarterback position. Flacco's not going to provide any help. Cleveland's roster is better than Cincinnati's, and Flacco couldn't do anything over there. I'm going to lay the 14.5, and I'm going to bite my fist when I do it, but I am going to lay it. This is actually one of the games where I'm going to have some crypto on it.
Crypto, there you go.
I'm not giving 14 points in a million years. I'm the same. I'm going to take the Bengals. What do you got, Jabba? You're muted. It looks like heads, though. So
Because you
home.
need some head at home.
I like we got that last part out. That was very clutch.
So
I
he's
was caught watching the Cubs
so
game.
he's got the Packers covering, winning by 14 points, basically.
Yeah.
I have
It's gonna happen, but yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if they cover, but I have the Packers winning.
All right, so you have the Bengals covering and Packers winning. Yeah, same. I think it's what everyone has said. The Bengals covering the spread. All right,
Yeah.
let's go to the Rams.
Remember, they do have Joe Flacco, and I think Flacco is a better option right now than Browner or whatever the hell his name. Browning. Yeah, Browning. Yeah, so I think
Browner was just a corner for
Yeah,
Seattle back in the day.
I know who he is. But I'm gonna go. I'm definitely
That's
gonna go
also the name of my two hole.
Why would you have to break that up?
About the skid mark. As long as she's using dude wipes and taking care of my two hole, I'm
Okay.
good. This makes my pecker.
Moving on to the Rams, who are 7.5-point favorites on the road against the Ravens.
That one's
Still
like
not
a
sure
fart
yet on
shirt.
Lamar Jackson. There's a chance that he'll play. Did not practice today, but is not officially ruled out yet. Rams 7.5-point favorites on the road. I will take it either way if Lamar Jackson is playing or not, because I do not trust the Ravens defense.
I gave up the booty there.
This is one of those spots where I will also take the Ravens. It's one of those traveling across the country. You have a team that just got the doors kicked in last week by 30 points against a not very good Houston team. Even if Lamar does not play, I do think Cooper Rush is a serviceable guy. The Ravens are just banged up. I just think this is a bad spot for the Rams. Traveling across the country, laying more than a touchdown. It's going to be one of those sleepy spots. They probably pull it out late. Maybe the Ravens have a chance to go in and tie it or something at the end, kind of wonky. I do expect Ravens to kind of get up for this game. Harbaugh is a much better coach than it's been the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to take the +7 as just a play, but it's not going to be a very strong play.
All right, Wes, what do you got? I know you're not a big fan of these big road dogs.
I got Baltimore winning the game outright.
Ooh,
I'm definitely taking the points. I got Baltimore winning outright. Johnny, I agree with you that Cooper Rush is serviceable, and they're coming off a game where they were embarrassed. This roster is got a lot of good things, and Cooper Rush is semi-mobile. It's not Lamar Jackson, but you got what we could argue is the best running back in football. Their wide receiving core is not terrible. Their defense is not going to get embarrassed like that again. But more than anything, I just don't believe in this Rams team. This Rams team, a lot of people are calling for this team to be a deep playoff run. I don't see it. I don't see them being anything but a wild card one and done in the playoffs. That's a different conversation. But I am going to take the 7.5. I am placing a full unit bet on moneyline Ravens here.
I don't really trust that Ravens defense in a million years, but the chance of Lamar Jackson playing tells me it's going to be less than a touchdown. So I'm going to take the Ravens in this one.
Oh, snap.
Oh, he dropped the coin. Nebraska State quarter down.
Got it. No worries. No worries. Still got it. Ooh, we got Nebraska. We got tails.
All right, so Chavez on the Rams.
On the Rams.
I'm gonna go. Are they healthy? The Rams? Do they have all their wide receivers?
Pretty much.
Puka, yeah.
I mean, Puka's going to try to break records this year. So
I'm gonna go Rams. I'm gonna go Rams.
All right. Speaking of two teams that are not very healthy, the 49ers at the Buccaneers, two teams that have a lot of offensive skill players that are injured right now. The Bucs are 3-point favorites at home, and I will take them to cover the spread and win a tight game.
Yeah, it's on me. This is one of those smelly games. I'm not going to be on either team. I think the Niners are probably one of the worst 4-1 teams in the league. I don't really believe in them in really all facets of their game. In this spot, I'm probably going to take the Niners. As good as I think of the Buccaneers, I think they're much better than the Niners overall. This is the type of game that Baker Mayfield will win game, by a field goal. Their defense has been kind of carved up. It hasn't been as good. It's going to be one of those weird last possession games. I will take the 3.5. I don't like it. Tell you what, it's definitely not in my actual card. But if you're going to bet this game, take the points.
This is it's really strange that the Niners are like they're averaging 298 yards passing a game, which is second most in the entire league, which is wild. But I'm with Johnny. We're agreeing on a lot of things, which is probably very scary. Normally we don't, which is the fun in knowing you. But Tampa was a 1.5 point favorite, and with only 48% of the tickets has moved to 3. I like Tampa at home to lay the 3 points. I trust Baker at this point. I never thought I would say I would trust Baker Mayfield, especially anything having to do with Oklahoma. But I trust Baker. I trust that team, that defense, that win that they got on the road. I don't think we're looking at a letdown. Lay the 3.
I'm going with the Bucks. I think they're a significantly better team. I think this is a touchdown game. Give me Tampa.
Ooh,
Trusty corner.
I got heads.
All right, Tampa. Yeah, I'm going Tampa. I think Tampa is definitely the better team. And Baker Mayfield is one of my favorites, so I'm behind him. So.
All right, before I get to my Let's Go, I do have to mention, I think between this show and the betting chat, I think it's the first time, Wes, you've mentioned Oklahoma this year, which is surprising. 6 weeks into the college season, or seven weeks into the college season.
No, all I hear about is Penn State. Please.
I'm sure Wes is very happy about that. All the fans up and ride with that.
I want them ranked as high as possible when we beat them. Same thing with the team up north.
I don't think you're going to get that ranking.
No.
All right. And we'll finish it off with your team, Wes, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're actually 2.5 point favorites at home against one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL so far this year, in the Detroit Lions. And I actually, with all the secondary injuries the Lions have right now, they lost DJ Reed, they lost Teron Arnold. I'm actually going to take the Chiefs to win this game. Johnny, you're muted.
Sorry, I was watching the freaking hockey game. I'm losing a couple of my bets tonight with an error by the Phillies pitcher and a breakaway by the Bruins. So
yeah, I got something for you. I got something.
It's disappointing. All right, I'm at 65% over the last 90 days now, and
and you're crying about that?
Not going the way I wanted to go.
And you're crying about 65%?
I am. You're damn right.
I'm sure those Phillies fans are going to be very forgiving of this pitcher.
I wanted them to win. I kind of feel for a guy like Bryce Harper, who probably came in, got a lot of shit early in his career, and especially leaves the Nationals. Then they win without him because they didn't want to provide anything for him, and then they did it to spite him. I kind of feel for that guy. I do like him as a ball player. Would love to see him win one. Really happy about the Yankees losing, so I'll put that in the little salt in the wound there.
I don't care. Let's go. Move
put
on.
that in the salt.
Move on. Stop it, you Baltimore Orioles fan. By the way, how great was it to watch how bad Baltimore was this year? I was.
It happens. It happens. I'm still rooted in my fanhood. It happened.
By the way, Nick Goody and Jabba had them winning the division.
I did too. I thought that was happening too.
By the way, Johnny, I do have to give you credit.
I said they were the worst team in the AL East. I said it, and I have lived it.
Hurts just missed like a 97-yard touchdown.
Johnny, before you get
overthrowing
to pick, I
Devonta
do
Smith.
give you credit too. You were right about the Cedric Mullins trade not working out for the Mets either.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a terrible trade. Cedric Mullins is an Oriole guy. I understood that, but he had really regressed offensively in almost every category over the last 7 years outside of that one All-Star year. That was a terrible trade, but speed on the bases, if you got there, just didn't work out. What was the last game?
All right, so Lions at the Chiefs. The Chiefs, 2.5 point favorites at home.
Yeah, gotcha. For me, easy. Fade Patty. I'm fading Patty all the way to the bank this year. I think the Lions are actually a really good team. And I think that one loss against the Packers was kind of an outlier week 1. This is a perfect spot to back the Chiefs. And I did it a couple weeks ago, and it kind of didn't work out. It didn't work out, right? I actually faded them again. I'm going to fade them. I do not think they're the same Chiefs team that we're accustomed to seeing. I do think their defense will give up points. I do think the Lions are the much better team at this point. And I'm getting about 2.5 points. I will take them on the money line. They'll plus money for me. This is actually going to be a game. I will fade them in prime time. Give me the Detroit Lions. It's not cold yet. Plenty good football weather in Kansas City right now. So that weather's not going to be a factor at all. Give me Detroit.
All right, well, West pick against the Chiefs 2 straight times we've had him on.
Well, I did, and for a lot of reasons that Johnny mentioned, this is definitely not the same Chiefs team. I've said it before. Their problem on defense is their secondary. Their pass rush is all predicated on their ability to cover, and they're trying to they're trying to recover from some attrition in the DB positions. Oddly, you look at the statistics, and the Chiefs are a top 10 offense. And this is the last game that they're going to play without Rashee Rice coming back. You know, we saw what it looks like when Worthy comes back in. Thornton, Mahomes loves Thornton. Who knows where this guy came from? But this is the spot where you take
Patriots draft pick that Jeff loved. Mahomo, as we say. That's what I call it.
In today's world, I don't know that you can say that. Do you have an HR department, Speedy?
I don't.
I literally was like, we're going to get canceled before it even goes anywhere.
Yeah, Andy Reid as the Chiefs head coach is like 15-5 coming off the bye. Lay the 2.5 points. I know the world wants to see them choke and lose, and they're done. It's going to take them a second this season. They're going to win the division.
Guys, Errol can't even spell HR. What are we talking about here? It's real crazy to think that the Chiefs are still doing well.
That's called
and they only have Tyquan Thornton. Now they get Worthy. Like you said, Rashee Rice is next. You know what this means, right? When we get to late in the season and they're going for a playoff spot, they now have receivers that Mahomes can trust as opposed to what he's had in some situations because he had to throw to him the first 6 weeks of the season. I think the Chiefs start winning right now. I really do. I think Chris Jones is going to be really motivated because he embarrassed himself thoroughly, and I'll talk about it later tonight. But it's something that I think this is where we start to see it. So give me the Chiefs.
Chiefs at home, and here we go. Bam. Oh, I also have the Chiefs.
Yo, the Giants are going to beat the Eagles. This is crazy. Do you see this? They're outplaying them.
Lions.
Am I by myself on the Lions here? I like that. I did see a crazy stat. Speaking of the Lions, I don't know if y'all know this, but I think in like 2 more years, Jared Goff can actually become the winningest quarterback in Detroit. And in about a year and a half, Matt Stafford can become the winningest quarterback for the LA Rams. I just think that's a pretty crazy stat considering they had swapped for each other over their career. So,
First of all,
anybody interested in betting on a primetime game? This 7.5 point dog, what they're doing?
Well, hold on. We're going to go quick. We have to go through Let's Parlay because that segment took a little long. So we're going to go Let's Parlay.
It's time for Let's Parlay.
I want to hit it.
All right, so we're going to do this quick. We have Wes. We have the one and only Reno Johnny. I'm sure they have a couple of picks that they probably did not have on that list of stuff that we were talking about and picking. So let's go Wes first, Reno Johnny. I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes. Let's do it. Clock is on.
Johnny, go.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm going to actually go tomorrow, Friday night. I'm going to take the Tigers on the road. The favorite, actually. I'm going to take them a little bit different. Take the first 5 on the run line so you can kind of buy back that juice. I do think they do get it done. I think they get it done kind of early. Give me the Tigers. They're going to have a pure pitching metric matchup advantage over the game, but for sure over the first 5. I'll take them minus a half run, about plus 105. I think last time I saw it.
Yeah, I am. I'm picking. I'm gonna go with Bama as my first play. I like this team. I like the way they've responded to that loss against Florida State. This is a real team. This is, I believe, the best team in the SEC right now. They're starting to play Kalen ball. Their defense is different than Nick. But I only have to lay 3 points going to Missouri. There's no trap situation. Like it's lay the 3, take Bama. This is a double-digit win.
Me, I'm going to go in a against the grain situation here. I'm going to be on Texas. I think they win this game, and purely because this is the perfect spot to back Texas. They're unranked. They're coming in on the Red River rivalry against number 6 Oklahoma with a quarterback that is banged up. That's going to give it a go. Big fan of John Mateer, by the way. I do think he's gambling. I can't fault the man. I think this is such a bad spot for them. I think this is kind of a trap. And if you're Arch Manning, this is the biggest game of your young career, and this is what we've seen so many times in this matchup, the statement game. I think Texas bounces back. I do think they win this game. I'll lay whatever points they had. I think last time I started on 3.5. I will lay this point. I do think they win this game. I do think Oklahoma kind of falls into a roadblock.
I want her melons.
I agree with you, and I have other plays, so I'm not gonna. That was a good call. I'm doing Georgia. I think that loss to Bama at home was a wake up call. I don't think the Dogs are going to lose a game for the rest of the year. So that means that Texas is going to lose again because Georgia's got to go through Texas. But I think they're going to beat Ole Miss. Like this Georgia team is going to win out. That was a big wake up call. Gunnar Stockton ran around, used his legs a little bit last week, and that really they won by 21 with the quarterback using his legs. That's Georgia has good running backs too. They're going to Auburn. I think it's going to be a slower start, but 3.5 Georgia at Auburn. Did I miss something? Is Cam Newton playing for Auburn? Like, is there something different going on? I just don't get it. And Auburn is getting a lot of public action too. Georgia laid the 3.5.
I'm going to go on Colorado. I do have a kind of a loaded rule here in college football is I will typically take any unranked team within a field goal at home coming in with a ranked team. I think that line just speaks trap. And if you take it over the last 3 or 4 years, I want to say that home dog in that spot, unranked versus ranked, is hitting at a close to 70% clip. I mean, that's just, you look at that game, any ifs, ands, or buts about it, all facets of the game, you can tell me Iowa State's the better team. They're only laying 2.5. And I don't even think Colorado has a great home atmosphere. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Give me the Colorado Buffaloes to probably win that game outright, but I'll take the points in my back pocket.
I am going NFL, and I actually like the New York Jets getting the 7.5 points against Denver. I like them in this spot. I'm not calling them a great team. I'm not arguing for one roster over the other. I just simply think it's a classic, what both teams are coming off of now, coming against each other. The hook might save us, but I think the Jets got a shot here. I like a lot of dogs in the NFL this week.
I also was really, really high on the Jets this week. I do think it's that overseas game. It's just one of those where you really don't know. The better team typically doesn't show up as much as you'd like them to. So I'm going to take them. I'm going to take the Dolphins. And I'm really high on the Chargers this year, and and they've lost back-to-back games. This is probably the game that they're going to bounce back. However, I do think they're really banged up on both sides of the football, including the offensive line. I do think the Dolphins are kind of in that we need to win now. So I'm gonna take them in a spot. Again, it's another one of those. We have I think there's 4 matchups this week where we have a West Coast team traveling to the East Coast in an early time slot. Those are just massive trap games. Give me the Dolphins to cover. They may win outright.
So this is an odd one that I'm going to do because both of these teams suck. Like, they're both broken. They both need different head coaches. They both need different quarterbacks. I'm looking at the Tennessee Raiders game. What I see here is a get-right game for both of their offenses. Neither one of them have very good defenses, although I think the Raiders have a better defense. Tennessee somehow tasted a victory last week, which might give them a little bit of confidence, but this feels like a get-right game for both of the offenses, and I'm going to go over game total 41.5.
All right, boys. We love you. Thank you for giving us your parlay picks. Wes, happy to be back, and I'll talk to you after the weekend, my friend.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Take care, boys.
All right. Let's parlay, ladies and gentlemen. And now we are going to save your tears?
Mom, what's
Woody has
one
no
thing that you can talk to me about?
My sexual fantasies.
There, sorry. It is not ideal, but if it's what means, it is not ideal, but if it is not ideal, but if it is what means. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. Lord, you guys, enough.
Oh, it's time for Save Your Tears.
Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Save Your Tears. It's everyone's favorite fantasy contest. $15 salary cap, Yahoo Fantasy Scoring PPR. Here's today's board. We got some good quarterbacks in this one today, guys. Baker Mayfield is the $5 quarterback, followed by Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, and for $1 you can get Kyler Murray. For $5, probably the best running back in the league so far this year, Jonathan Taylor, followed by perennial great CMC. Then Travis Etienne on a big year. I didn't want to do this to you guys again because we got the Bucs again. So Bucky Irving if he plays, Rashad White if he doesn't. And then Kenneth Walker III is $1. For wide receiver 1, JSN, the Dominator over there at receiver. So good, Errol. Followed by Brian Thomas Jr. for 4. Michael Pittman Jr. for 3. I guess it's Chris Godwin Jr. as well. A bunch of juniors in this one for 2. And Michael Wilson, the Arizona receiver, for $1. On the other receiver one, we're going with $5 for the high-performing Emeka Ibuka, followed by Marvin Harrison Jr., Cooper Kupp, Josh Downs, and the Gremlin, Travis Hunter. Tight ends a little stacked this time with Trey McBride and Tyler Warren at the top 5 and 4. Brenton Strange for 3, A.J. Barner for 2, and George Kittle replacement who's been doing well, Jake Tongues for $1. So who do we got? We got no Nithin in this one, even though he is won twice in a row. I guess. So who do we got? We got Jarrett.
What is
we
the
got
board? Do we have
Tommy.
The
So we're just no Nithin.
right now. What is the points? Hold on. So you're
Yeah,
in the
so
lead
Speedy,
right now.
we have a standings. I asked you to compile a full standings.
Yep.
Tell us what the standings are right now in this game.
Errol is in the lead with a total of 353.74 points and 1 win total this year. He's winning a week. I think you won week 2. I'm in second with 311.32, and I won week 1. Tommy, you're actually in third right now, 289.1. You've been actually like pretty consistent, like a lot of like 60-point weeks, and you had one week where you won. Nithin is in fourth, or no, actually Fish is in fourth, 280.22. Nithin is in fifth. He has 2 week wins, but also a week he didn't show up, and then he also struggled in week 1. So he has 275, and Jabba, you're at 269.5. Jarrett, you're obviously only have done the first 3 weeks. You're at 174.22, but still some time to catch up.
I thought we were doing a standings like 5 points for first place, 3 points for second, and 1 point for first. That was how we were supposed to do it, Speedy.
We should reward the
points. I don't know. That's not what we said. It doesn't matter. Errol is the FedEx Cup champ of all time. We all know that about Errol Marks. So again, here it is. We'll start.
Jabba hates it. Look at him. He hates it. He absolutely hates it.
Well, I mean, Jabba, I agree with
What
the
do I
notion
hate?
that you're either first or last. And Errol's got 1 first place finish, but a bunch of not firsts. But he's real proud of it. So
Anyone! And then Nithin has 2 wins, and I think he has the lowest week of anybody total, like him in week 1. or something like that.
that's why, because so like people that can't play every single week, they can still get those 5-3-1 points. I think you need to go back and do that too. We'll look at both of them. All right, I'll go first just to start this off. I haven't really looked at it. I did it a few days ago. I know that I'm just going to go with Jonathan Taylor. So I just know he's the best guy going right now. I'm going to take him. I'm going to take Michael Pittman Jr., stay with the same team. Yes, I'm going to load up on Danny Dimes' guys. I'm not going to take him. Try to put the kibosh on it for you, Errol. Looks like I'm frozen a little bit. I'm going to try to help out here. Let me know if I completely freeze. Over here for wide receiver 2, I'm going to spend you know what? No, I'm going to spend $2 on AJ Barner, who was the leading tight end point getter last week. What does that put me? I got 8, 10. I got $5 left. I'm going to spend... Yeah, let's just go full on to Travis Hunter. And Errol, you told me this guy's just like an MVP candidate, so I'm going to take Daniel Jones and no reverse jinx whatsoever at all. All right, there we go. That's my team. I'm going to share it for you so you can see, and we'll do this for everyone's team. Got to figure out why it's kind of glitching. But here we go. I got Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., Travis the Gremlin Hunter, and A.J. Barner. All right, here it is. Next up, let's go with Jared.
All right. Can I have Kyler Murray at quarterback? Where's it at? Give me CMC at running back. Michael Pittman as my receiver 1. Actually, no, give me Chris Godwin then actually as my receiver 1. And then I'm going to take Igbuka and Tyler Warren.
All right, so I got you down for Kyler Murray, CMC, Godwin, Igbuka, and Tyler Warren. Moving on to Tommy Scoops.
All right. So already looking at the team. I'm going to go with, for $1, Kyler Murray. Somewhat similar to yours, Fish. I'm going to go JT, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman. Then I'm going to go Mecca Egbuka. Leave me with $1. It's going to give me Jake Tonges. Tonges, however you say his name.
All right. We got you from Murray, Taylor, Pittman, Egbuka, and Tongues. Speedy!
All right, actually, that was the combo I was thinking of doing, so I will do something different. So let's go with Jones. Let's go with Warren. I'm going to start there. I'm going to take the Tampa running back cluster. However, that one will play out, and I'll take both Colts guys, Pittman and Downs.
All right, I got you for Daniel Jones, the Tampa twosome, whoever it is that's the starter, Pittman, Downs, and Warren. 4 Colts, Speedy, out of 5.
Yeah, I think
it's Jabba.
Blowout this week. The Cardinals defense, they've been good, but I think the Colts offense is going to be tough with the Cardinals having some injuries as well.
I was thinking about doing it, but I had to take Travis Hunter if the chance to get closer in the FedEx Cup standings to Errol Marks. All right, Jabba, who do you got?
Go Daniel Jones. I'm going to go the tandem of Bucky Irving and Rackhad White, as it's on the screen. Then I'm going to go this one. I'm going to go Brian Thomas Jr. Then I'm going to go Cooper Kupp and A.J. Barner.
Cool. Kupp and Barner. So I got Jones, Tampa, Brian Thomas Jr., Cooper Kupp, and A.J. Barner. All right, Errol, you're up.
All right. I'm looking here, and I'm trying. I didn't.
Another sack by Brian Burns on Hurts. My goodness.
I know you're masturbating over this. I'm definitely going. All right, I'm going to go with CMC. I'm going to go Michael Pittman, Emeka Egbuka.
Already 12.
You got 3 left.
I'll go Barner, and then I'll go Kyler Murray.
All right, Errol, I got Murray, CMC, Pittman, Egbuka, and Barner. All right, let's take this off. Show everybody the full slate. No Nithin this week, but again, we're going to go over it on Monday's show. The winner gets compliments from all the losers. That must be 51% genuine in the compliment chorus. And if you don't like how it works out for you, you can't do anything about it. You got to save your tears.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we have In Like Flynn, King of the Hill, and what's that spell? But a break for fish.
This is the Jabba and the Mouth Sports Minute.
All right, guys. Aaron Fishman here with your Sports Minute. Got a couple of stories left tonight before I get the scores. In a report earlier Thursday, ESPN reported that Miami Heat coach Erik Spoelstra is expected to succeed Steve Kerr as Team USA's head coach for the 2027 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. This will be the fourth straight Olympics that Team USA has had a different head coach, dating back to Coach K, Greg Popovich, Kerr, and now Spoelstra. The decision was made by Team USA Managing Director Grant Hill. Spoelstra is the longest tenured head coach in the NBA, starting with the Heat starting with the Heat a long time ago in the early 2000s, first as an assistant to Pat Riley. He has led them to 6 NBA Finals appearances and 2 titles. He has the 5th most playoff wins in NBA history. The Olympics of 2028 will be held in Los Angeles. I want to talk to Samson, said Derek Jeter never. Yes, Hall of Fame shortstop Derek Jeter and former Marlins executive, now podcaster David Samson, reportedly got into a shouting match at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, during Hall of Fame week back in July this past summer. Samson told journalist podcaster Pablo Torre on his show, Pablo Torre Finds Out. I saw him in Cooperstown, and I approached him with my son, and I just said, good to see you, and extended my hand, and he just looked at me. And he said, oh, you brought your camera crew? I'm sure. And I said, actually, that's my son. He said, sure it is. And my son was just standing there like jaw open. And then Derek started talking about how angry he was about everything. And I said, Derek, I'm happy I live rent-free in your head, and thank you for watching the show every day. He had people listen to our show every day, while he was still employed with the Marlins. And I just said, okay. And he started walking away. I started walking away, and he yelled across the Hall of Fame store some terrible thing toward me, and my son was standing right there. And this is Derek Jeter, like yelling at Caleb's dad. It was ridiculous, and this was recent. Before jumping to conclusions, this quote is something that you need to know about Samson. Derek Jeter has a problem. I mean, that's the bottom line. He has a problem of aptitude. He has a problem in everything other than being a shortstop. This also belongs to David Samson from his podcast and appears to be playing off his ridiculous comments towards Jeter as if El Capitan, of all people, wasn't going to give as good as he can get. Even if he was shouting in an overpriced tourist trap gift shop at Samson, it's hard to defend a guy like Samson thinking Jeter should be nice to him with everything he's said and probably done behind the scenes, just because he has his kid with him. The competitive fire of Jeter is stuff of legends and clearly never forgets who has crossed him. Say what you will about the great Derek Jeter as a team exec, but Samson is just mad that Jeter gave him a 6 to 7 digit haircut when he took over the Marlins years ago, making him lose his real strength, having to become a pest in the media instead of a professional baseball executive, as the pillars of losing he was responsible for holding up gave way to the great Yankee shortstop who only cares about winning. Speaking of winning, the Giants somehow are winning this game against the Eagles 27-17, just under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And in baseball, a crazy ending to the baseball game earlier today. The Phillies are eliminated by the Dodgers on an error in the 11th inning by the relief pitcher, Ryan Kettering. Dodgers went 2-1. It's the bottom of the fourth. The Cubs are up 3-0 on Milwaukee. Guys, we are streaming live on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube on our Job on the Mouth handle, on Facebook under the Worldwide Sports Radio Network handle, and on Twitter under our host handle at ErrolMarks34. Keep downloading on Apple Podcasts and watch us both there and on Spotify, now in video. Make sure to like and subscribe to all our shorts, reels, TikToks, and longer videos that you see from us throughout the week. Now back to Errol, Jabba, and Speedy for our next segment on Jabba and the Mouth.
Any questions? This is the Jabba and the Mouth Show.
Blood out of his... I look delicious. 631-672-3108 is the number to call. You're listening to Jabba and the Mouth. A little Nas.
It's a great song.
Yes! Remember, you can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. You can listen to our show every single Saturday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every single Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. All you have to do to tune in and check out our local listings for all the shows is go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Jabba, why don't you tell the fans what are we brought to you by?
We are brought to you by Veteran Renovations. It is a marine owned, operated for over 30 years of experience. They go as far as to give you free estimates, 0% financing. So if you are in the Lincoln and surrounding areas, give them a call. Look them up at nerenovations.com.
nerenovations.com. Speedy, could you do that?
nerenovations.com.
Oh, I like that one. I like that. That's probably your best take on asking you to that barking, that growl. You want to give us another growl? All right, that's even worse. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we call this In Like Flynn.
I've often heard that you'd give me a warm welcome if ever we met again.
Like Flynn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this week's In Like Flynn is the top 10 franchises in the last 5 seasons of the MLB season. Yes, Bleacher Report did this a couple of months ago, and I thought it was very interesting. I got a chance to check it out, and I think this is interesting. So at number 10, Bleacher Report has the Cleveland Guardians, a team that has not won in 75 years, but has one of the best players in all of baseball in Jose Ramirez, a team that's been very consistent year in and year out, one of the best rotations in baseball almost every single year over the last 5 years, and their bullpen as dominant as can be. They're just up and down when it comes to the defense. I mean, as far as their hitting and their lineup. So I would think that they would be higher than this. I would put them in the top 8. So I would disagree with them at number 10. I would probably put at number 10 the Texas Rangers. That's who I would put at number 10. And Texas has had a sensational they've been sensational over the last 5 years. They won a World Series, Bruce Bochy, and now they've been transitioning. They've had now 3 managers in the last 5 years. It's pretty unique for a team to do that and still win a World Series in the 5 years that they've done it. So I'm going to go Texas Rangers at number 10. At number 9 for this Bleacher Report, they have the Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee's been consistent year in and year out. David Stearns is now with the New York Mets. So very interesting how they have this, but a team that is 395 and 313 over the last 5 years, 4 playoff appearances, 2 wins, wins above replacement, 163.9. The Brewers have been sensational. Good pitching rotation, good bullpen year in and year out, and very young lineup that we've seen. I would think that Milwaukee is perfectly where they are. I think they'd sit very perfect right over there at number 9. I would put them there. At number 8, the New York Mets. Bleacher Report has them at 368 and 340 in the last 5 years. 2 playoff appearances, 8 wins. Wins above replacement as 160.3. Juan Soto had a great year this year. They have a tremendous lineup, interesting young rotation in the future, but we're talking about the last 5 years. I would disagree. I don't have the Mets in the top 10. I wouldn't put the Mets in the top 10 right now, but they put them at the top 10. I would have the Cleveland Guardians sitting right here at number 8. And this is not hating on the Mets. I don't feel that the Mets have done enough to be in the top 10.
I actually agree with you even as a Mets fan.
So I got the Cleveland Guardians at number 8. At number 7, they have the San Diego Padres. They're 380 and 328, a 537 win percentage, 3 appearances, 12 wins, win above replacement 184. Sensational over the last couple of years. They have some good young pitchers. They have always had a good farm system, even though they like trading them away. They seem to do that very often. But and they played so very well over the last couple of years and very consistent. I would say San Diego's perfect, right where they're sitting as well. I don't agree with a lot of things Bleacher Report does, but I would agree with them here. At number 6, we have, right, we're at number 6?
Yep.
They have the Tampa Bay Rays. They're 405 and 303, 12 wins, American League Championship in 2020, 199.9 win above replacement. Very interesting. I would think Tampa's a little higher than this. I would put them a little higher than this. I'm not a big fan of their manager, but I think this is a team that doesn't have a very big salary cap. They pretty much find players on the scrap heap. They have pitchers in their farm system that they develop. They do that very well, and then they trade them away, and they add to that roster every single time when they have these pitchers really develop over the years. So I would have Tampa higher than this. I would disagree with them. It's so interesting when I look at this, and I'm trying to figure out where would I have them. You know what? I would have. I'm gonna put the New York Yankees there. I'm gonna put the New York Yankees there, and I know a lot of Yankee fans are gonna hate me for this. The Yankees have not won since 2009, and as good as they've been and consistent as they've been, and I could give you their record, and I know a lot of Yankee fans are probably going to be discouraged on this. I don't care. I look at their 400 and 308. They have 4 appearances in the playoff, 15 wins. They have an American League Championship in 2024 and a 189.2 win above replacement. They don't hit in the playoffs, okay? And when you don't hit in the playoffs, you don't win. And they've done this year in and year out. I wouldn't put them in my top 5. I'm sorry, Yankee fans. I would not. So I would have the Yankees at number 6. At number 5, that is the place I would have Tampa. I think Tampa has been consistent. I think the Tampa Bay Rays are one of the lowest salaries in all of baseball. I gave you their statistics. They've had players that they really have traded away. Every time they develop, look at Tyler Glass now. They let him go. They sent him to the Dodgers. Can't stay healthy. They loaded up on that trade from the Dodgers. Brought in a bunch of prospects that are developing right now in their farm system and on their team, on their roster. I would put them there. At number 4, I would have the Philadelphia Phillies. I think they've been consistent, 382 and 326. 3 appearances, 20 wins, National League Championship in 2022, 183.2 win above replacement. Just think about this. Thompson was a bench coach for Joe Girardi. He took over this team. This team has been completely different over the last 3 years. He's developed these players. They've brought players in. They've bought into Thompson. I love what Philadelphia has done over the last couple of years. And they did lose tonight, but still very successful. So I would have Philadelphia at number 4. At number 3, the Houston Astros. I would have them one higher than this. I think the Astros have been very consistent over the years. I can't stand the organization as a whole. I'm going to move them up. The Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves are 417, 290, 21 wins in 5 appearances in the playoffs, a National League and a World Series in 2021, win above replacement, 211.5. The problem with them over the last 2 years is health. And if you look at the last 5 years, they're consistent, but can't stay healthy. And they didn't make the playoffs this year. So I would have them outside of the top 2. I would have Atlanta at number 3. I would have Houston number 2. Houston, consistency, 408, 299, 5 appearances, 34 wins, American League Championship, a World Series championship, which they cheated, as we all know. Nevertheless, they've been so very consistent, 206.5 win above replacement. Success, they've had so many great young, talented players they've developed. Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, and Jose Altuve. They've been very, very good. And their pitching staff, Verlander, Garrett Cole, all these young guys they have, Alvarez, they're just really, really good. So I'd have them at number 2. And at number 1, yes, I'm going to put them there. And they're probably going to win the World Series again this year, back-to-back championships, the Los Angeles Dodgers. 458 and 250, 5 appearances, 31 wins, National League World Series championship in 2020 and 2024, 233.3 wins above replacement. Yes, Ohtani has won how many MVPs? They've got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. I mean, this team is loaded. You can't argue it. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is in like Flynn this week. Number 1, I hate to say it, the Dodgers. Number 6, the Yankees, falling out of the top 5.
And not top 10, the Mets.
And not top 10, the Mets. I would not.
I would agree with you on that.
They're just not. I'm sorry. I don't know what Bleacher. There's somebody on Bleacher Report that's a Met fan, because you cannot honestly put the Mets there.
No.
They haven't even been in a World Series in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I would probably say maybe Seattle cracks the list at that point, because they made the playoffs a bunch and they developed players well.
Maybe. I still think Seattle's looking out with all the teams that I mentioned. I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like who I would replace the Mets with in the top 10, but there are options of like better player developments.
Absolutely. All right. How did you guys like that? Job, you like that
list?
You like that list?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple I would have probably. I mean, yeah, the Braves is tough just because of the injuries. I mean, it's the first time ever that the opening day starting 5 has ever been hurt, and they were all on the DL. I would have had the M's, just for the young guys and the things they've done. But other than that, I might have had the Yankees in the top 5 getting to the World Series, but I don't hate that because it's literally been the same MO for like the last 12, 15 years. So yeah, it was I don't hate it. I mean, obviously the Houston cheating, that's never going to end. So,
but it's the last 5 years they weren't cheating. Then it was 2017.
No, yeah, right.
It's not going to discredit them there. The Phillies and the Yankees are kind of interchangeable because they both have spent a lot of money and they both have some development with young players, but don't with others. I always said the top 4, were the Dodgers, the Astros, the Braves, and the Rays. Like the Rays are the low market geniuses, the Braves and Astros middle market, and the Dodgers obviously spending a ton.
I have to put the Rays in the top 4 too. So.
The Rays, they for sure. I would, and it's with what the Guardians have done year in and year out too, like somehow finding a way, and like you get the Biebers and even Quantrill when he was there. Obviously he's kind of digressed a little bit, but yeah, they always seem to be there and never like get over the hump, but they're always there. I might have been a little bit higher because I like I think I'm very biased too because I love Rammer, but I love Stephen Vogt. He's fantastic, and I like what their front office has done.
All right, King of the Hill.
Here's the King of the Hill.
This, Bobby, is the belt line. You never, ever hit below that.
Not that kind of King of the Hill, you dumb. Ready? This is King of the Hill.
All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of King of the Hill, everyone's favorite trivia game where there's going to be 4 people trying to reclaim the mantle of king for the week. Our reigning king is Speedy Petey. Everyone else will compete in round 1, the peasant fight, which will be a category. We'll have 3 answers each, and it'll go in snake fantasy draft order. So first person will go, it'll all the way go to the 4th person. We'll make 2 picks and then back and forth. Round 2 will be the joust, where the king will decide who moves on to round 2 to have a chance for round 3 to take on the king, where everyone who lost and myself, who will be hosting, will be the Democratic voters of the championship round. Are you guys ready to play King of the Hill Baseball Edition?
Yeah.
All right, here we go, boys. Round 1, peasant fight. Best defensive players in MLB history. I'm giving you a wide breadth of players to select from all of baseball. Some of the great legends, not even telling you a specific position to go for. I want to know the all-time greats. There are 4 of you. There will be 12 players selected. Let's get to the King of the Hill matchup here. Here I am up here, if it'll start working. And the king is Speedy. All right, so we'll start with this order that we have left to right. It'll be Tommy, Errol, Jabba, and then Jarrett for 2. Starting us off, Tommy Scoops.
All right, I'm going to start off over in the center field. Mr. Willie Mays, of course, very, very famous for being on the Giants. Of course, arguably the most competitive and the most complete outfielder ever. He had incredible reads. The range of him was absolutely impeccable. And hey, he just defines absolute defensive greatness, absolute stud during the 1954 World Series. So hey, I just got to say, Mr. Willie Mays as my first pick.
Errol.
You know, it's so interesting when you look at statistics and records, and I have to go with this guy. I think he's the greatest defensive player of all time. I don't think I can argue. I don't think anybody. I mean, what kind of nickname is this? The Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith, one of the greatest defensive players, shortstop, hardest. I would argue. I know Jabba would say catcher is the hardest defensive position to play. I think the shortstop is, because you got to react, reflexes, and Ozzie Smith is the best. If you look at all the great defensive players at their position, listen to this. Defensive WAR, he's 44.2. The next closest one is Mark Bellinger, which is 39.5. We're talking about Brooks Robinson, Cal Ripken Jr., Joe Tinker, all these guys. This guy's WAR is 44.2. I'm going to Wizard of Oz.
Defensive WAR 44. I didn't even know that was possible. Jabba! You're muted.
I know. I'm gonna go a different route in the aspect of I'm gonna go Greg Maddux. All time he has 18. He won 13 in a row, and it's not the sexiest, but you got to realize he's throwing a ball and then fielding his position. He had 14 plus years where he had no errors, and we're talking PFPs. We saw what PFPs just did in this Dodgers and Phillies game.
Yeah,
he saved himself a lot of runs, and so when you talk about the greatest of all time, he has the most ever, 13 in a row, and a fielding percentage higher than a lot. So I went a little bit off the beaten path, but it speaks for itself. And I love, everybody says that pitchers aren't athletes. That's horseshit.
Greg Maddux was incredible at everything.
And
you ever see that one where he dressed up as an old man and pitched like batting practice to Chris Bryant?
To Chris Bryant is a Red Bull commercial.
Yeah, that was a good one. Jarrett for 2.
All right. First pick, I'm going to go with Brooks Robinson, the greatest fielding third baseman of all time, 16 Gold Gloves, World Series. He won an MVP with just basically above average hitting stats. Not even close, really. The greatest defensive third baseman of all time. Second pick is going to be Andrew Jones.
Damn it.
Not the first name that comes to mind, really, with defensive outfielders. Might go Willie Mays, might go Griffey, but he has the highest defensive WAR of any outfielder ever. 10 Gold Gloves. Yeah, he's the man.
Damn it! I was hoping he would get skipped over as a Braves fan. I was like,
I'm a Braves fan too.
Damn it!
Skip him over.
I know.
All right, Jabba.
I am gonna have to go. I'm gonna go just because I got a chance to throw to him when I was in New York. People forget that he was a Yankee for a while. I'm gonna go Pudge. There was so many like catchers that kind of made catching sexy. You had Benito with the leg out. You had Tony Pena. But Pudge made throwing dudes out like sexy. Mind you, it pissed me off when he called a fastball away every time somebody was on first. But just the way he would catch and change position and also hit too. And then to be able to win 13 Gold Gloves and do it the way he did was special.
Errol.
Oh, I'm going with the number one guy, the defensive first baseman of all time. 11 Gold Gloves, Mr. Keith Hernandez. I don't think you can argue this guy was the greatest first baseman defensively that ever played. You can argue him and Don Mattingly. You can go back and forth. But what he did was sensational, playing for St. Louis and then jumping ship and going to the Mets and winning their last World Series. It might be the only one in the next 50 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Keith Hernandez.
Tommy Foops for a deuce.
All right, for the deuce, my first of the deuce, I'm going to go with a guy who's pretty synonymous within baseball. You know, a lot of people who don't know baseball, you know, of course, Mr. Ken Griffey Jr., of course, Mr. 10 Gold Gloves. he was just absolutely breathtaking when it came to absolutely stealing home runs, a home run robber, you could call him. And, of course, just made the defense look effortlessly. And he did it with such grace, too. No one did it with such swagger like Mr. Griffey Jr. And for my next, I'm going to go with Mr. Roberto Clemente on of course, the Pittsburgh Pirates 12 Gold Glove winner, the greatest throwing arm in right field history, and his precision and absolute strength is what made him one of the best defensive players of all time. So give me Roberto Clemente.
Errol.
And my final, right? It's 3, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
My final one is the greatest, some people say, catcher of all time. The one and only Bench himself, Johnny Bench. I'm going with Johnny. 10 Gold Gloves. You can argue Pudge was the greatest. He's not. Johnny Bench is the greatest. You could argue also Yogi Berra, but I'm going Johnny B. Bench.
All right, Jabba.
I'm gonna go another homer just because the story of how it turned into this, and he has the most ever in left field. The kid from Lincoln himself, Alex Gordon, went from playing third to winning 2 straight platinum gold gloves, was almost out of baseball, figured out how to play left field, and literally won it for 7 straight years, took a year off because he got hurt, and then won again. And it's the most ever from a left fielder that started as a third baseman. Alex Gordon.
And last but not least, Jared.
I'm gonna go with a guy who's not on any of those like big statistics, like accumulative boards, just because he didn't play very long, and that's because he couldn't hit. Andrelton Simmons. He was the best fielding shortstop in the league for probably 4 or 5 years, and was like head and shoulders above the rest of the league. I think he's got at least 1 platinum glove. He might have 2. But that gun, the guy was a 240 hitter, was an all-star like every year for a couple of years.
All right, those are the picks in the first round. I didn't hear any.
There are 2 guys. Torrey Hunter's one that I love. I think he's one of the greatest defensive center fielders.
T-Nuts.
Yeah, he was fantastic. And Don Mattingly. You can argue him and Keith Hernandez, the 2 best defensive first basemen. And people don't realize how important the first base is, especially reflexes and stuff like that. So, Robbie, so it's fantastic. And Mark Teixeira, too. People forget how great Mark was.
Tex was. I hated Tex. I loved him, but I hated him because, I mean, he made my fat ass run over there, and he would take it to himself. I'm like, dog, just tell me so I ain't got to run over there, bro. Me and Cece would get so mad. Be like, dog, I'm running over there. At least show me some love, man. Damn.
Does that mean he's going to get your congressional vote or wherever he's running for?
Oh, no, I'm voting. Hey, Tex got that look, too, of him. He's going to win. I love his ads. I follow him, and he's great. He's perfect for that.
You do it, though.
He's got the old school 3/4 zip, with the collar underneath it. Yeah, it's Tex going to win.
Speedy, who we going with?
This
is Sandy.
Jared, I will say you had a very good first battle for King of the Hill. That was a very impressive showcase you had with a lot of the defensive players you pick. I definitely have to pick Errol. Ozzie Smith is the number 1 overall to me. Brooks Robinson would probably be second. Jared, you ended up picking him. But I did like your argument job before Greg Maddux. I think individually that was a good argument. So that gives you the slight edge over Jared. I'm going to pick Errol and Jabba. But Jared, very good battle.
All right, you guys pop out. We're going to go to round 2, the Joust. And I got a dog that's mad at me. And we're going to get to this Joust. Where is it? Here we go. Add it to the stage. Round 2, best playoff pitchers in MLB history. Guys, this is the topic of the moment right now. We talked about Clayton Kershaw not being a good playoff pitcher. Got shelled yesterday, even though it wasn't really fair that he had to go in. Tanner Scott was hurt, was taken off the roster, so he had to go an extra inning. Didn't go well, obviously. Speedy, who's starting off round number 2?
Let's go to Errol.
All right, Errol, start us off. Best playoff pitchers.
We had a full-blown conversation about the...
I always try to do it so it's like something we've already talked about.
But I know you're cool with him, so I'm not going to go with him. I'm going.
No, I mean, you have to.
I'm
he
not.
has the most innings pitched in the postseason ever.
I'm going to go with somebody else. I'm going to let you have him. All right?
I'm not even going to take him because it's a given.
Well, you should take him.
You should take him.
Well, I'm going to take somebody else first.
I'm going with Madison Bumgarner. I mean, come on. Dominant guy. Played for the Giants. I mean, the championships. He was everything to what that team was at that dominant time. He was sensational. I'm going to go Madison Bumgarner. Oh, by the way, NLCS MVP in 2014, World Series champion in 2014, and three-time World Series champion in 2010, 2012, and 2014. So,
there you go. He was nasty. Jabba.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, but that doesn't even come close to Mo. Mo has a .7 in the postseason with 141 innings pitched. Enough said. Game over. See you, Errol. You're out.
Get out of here. What are you doing? Get out of here.
That's not, I mean, excuse me. All right, we can keep going. That's fine.
Errol.
Here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to take you out on that one. I'm going to go with Curt Schilling. Curt Schilling, who's 11-2.
First of all, I'm going to shut this off because he is the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to have to go with him. He's 11-2 in the playoffs. 11-2 with a 2.23 ERA, 133.1 innings pitched. I mean, I can't stand the guy. Couldn't stand him against the Yankees. Couldn't stand him. He always beat the Yankees. He demolished the Yankees. He won a championship with Arizona. He was the big reason why they won. And by the way, he was also a big reason why the Boston Red Sox won a championship too. So I'm going Curt Schilling. I have to pick him.
I don't even want to do this because I hate that dude.
I know.
Yeah, the Giants are gonna do this. This is unbelievable.
I know, that's crazy.
They picked off Hurts and took it like 80 yards the other way, got into the red zone. If Jalen Hyatt didn't suck, it would have been a touchdown just now, but they called PI. It's crazy.
Oh, no.
Unbelievable. Back. Who's
All right,
up next?
you can have Curt Schilling.
You got over to Jabba. For
Yeah,
2.
well, then now, obviously, I'm going to take Pet with, I mean, literally a full season in the playoffs. I think it was like almost 300, if not more. 19 wins. I mean, a full-blown season. Clinching games in 6 postseasons. Yeah, I'm running him out there every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
All right. And now, my last one, right?
Yep.
I'm going with the guy, the gift, the myth, and always been a legend. Stop, Fish, calm down. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, we're doubling up the Eagles, dude. This is crazy.
Okay. This
This
is the
is
same
crazy.
thing. This is the same thing that happened to the Eagles last year. I'm going with
Did it? The Giants haven't beat the Eagles since Vietnam.
I'm talking about the Eagles. It is. It's been a long time. I'm going Sandy Koufax. 7 starts in the World Series, 4 complete games, 2 shutouts, 0.95 ERA, 2 World Series MVPs. The guy was unbelievable. I'm going with the lefty, Sandy Ko. That's my final pick.
Jabba to round it out.
Final. See, this is where it's going to get interesting for me. How back? I'm going to have to go. You know what? I'm going to go Oral Hershiser. I mean, it's just the way that he did it in the postseason, which I was kind of, what am I going to pick for it? But I mean, he literally had a 700 winning percentage. He had like a 2 ERA. I mean, he was ALCS MVP, NLCS MVP, and he did it with not great hitting. And he just snuck in late. There were some Christy Matheson. There's some old ones that I had, but I didn't get to see it. But Oral's in there, and he's a weird cat, and I like him just because he is weird.
All right, Java. That's it for this round. Speedy, time for the King's decision.
You guys both did really well with that one. It's tough because Java, you picked a lot more and has larger samples, and Errol picked one with a lot more like storylines, like the Giants obviously winning the 3 and 5 years.
I almost went Smoltz because he was on both sides of it.
Playing obviously breaking the curse with the with the Red Sox, and then obviously doing with the Diamondbacks too. But Sandy Koufax, oh god, this is tough. This was a great battle. I think I can't.
Just go against Errol. He picks you up. That's fine.
Nah, I can't knock a sample size though. I can't like discredit a team that like hasn't been there for a while, and I think the Dodgers kind of lucked out with that 81 year, so I'm gonna give it to Errol.
Wow. All right. So it's going to be Errol versus Speedy in the finals. Everybody come back in.
I would have gone no, but that I think was.
Yeah, we know the direction you go. It's not oral. We get it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm right. I don't go that
I
way.
was going to go Bob Gibson because he's from Omaha too, Jarrett.
That might have
You're
given
right.
you the win, Daba. I think I would have given you the win.
I'd already gone
Nine
Nebraska
starts,
homers.
9 games.
I would have been.
Juan Soto's a
I would have been probably confident to pick you if you picked Gibson.
It's loose.
All right. So here is the last round where you get to take on the king. Here's the topic. Everybody waiting with bated breath as they say, best managers in baseball history.
Ooh.
All right. We got some good ones going right now, but I want to know all time. I want the legends. I want the goats.
This could go so many ways.
This is a really open and fun question because it depends on a little bit of fandom, and it depends also on how much you think certain eras deserve to be represented. So here we are. Time to take on the king. Errol Marks, can you reclaim your throne? Speedy, you want to go first or second?
I will go first. I'm going to take Tommy Lasorda in this one. Obviously, with the like Errol mentioned before with Koufax, I think really rebirthing the Dodgers over there, going over there to LA, inheriting a team from another very good manager with Walter Alston, but taking that over, making it his own, and had a great, tremendous longevity for a long time, winning in the 60s and winning some in the 80s as well with, Oral Hershiser, who I just barely did not pick Jabba, I'm sorry, and then in 88 as well with probably what is considered one of the best teams in that particular range of 20 years. So I'm going to go with Lasorda as my first.
Errol.
I'm going Sparky Anderson. I have to go with Sparky. Sparky's, to me, in my eyes, the greatest manager of all time. 3-time World Series champion, 1975, 1976, 1984. 2-time American League Manager of the Year in 1984 and 87. Sparky, I remember him as the manager of the Detroit Tigers. Really, the personality and you ask all the managers that who they went to when it came to the 80s and the 90s and having a conversation, trying to get information about baseball. One of the most knowledgeable baseball people in baseball history. I'm going Sparky Anderson.
Speedy.
All right, I'll take Tony La Russa as my next one. I know his last stint with the White Sox was bad, but I'm not going to hold that against him or what he did with the Cardinals, what he did with the Oakland Athletics at that time. Managed for a very long time, too. Won 3 World Series back-to-back in the 90s with the A's and obviously winning it with the Cardinals, too. Like Errol's mentioned many times, has coached a lot of different Hall of Famers. Some that maybe shouldn't be Hall of Famers, but has coached some very good players in his career, so I'll give it La Russa as the second.
All right, back to Errol.
I cannot put this guy in the top 3 managers of all time in my book. I never saw him manage, but I know all about him. Casey Stengel. You cannot put Stengel in the top 3. 9-time World Series champion, 1921, 1922, 1949 to 1953, 1956, 1958. New York Yankees retired him at his number 37. And really, everything that he stood for the New York Yankees and the organization and winning, the winningest manager of all time. I'm going with Casey Stengel.
All right, last picks. Speedy.
All right, I'm going to go with the winningest manager in MLB history. That is Connie Mack, who did it with the Philadelphia Athletics at that time, managed for a very long time and winning about 3,000 games in his career to, I think it's like 3,600 or something like that. He didn't win his winning World Series as some of the other managers in that era, like McCarthy and I forget the one who managed the Giants, the New York Giants at that time, but definitely for a very long time with a team that had a lot of Hall of Famers as well, but they couldn't keep their players like a lot of the other teams could. So I'm going to give it to him for the last one.
All right.
And Errol.
All right. I would like to go with Joe Torre, but I'm not. I'm not going with Joe Torre. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go with this guy because I think he is so underappreciated, except for the Atlanta Brave fans, and I'm going with Bobby Cox. I think Bobby Cox is one of the winningest coaches, managers of all time for baseball history. Look at this record. 2,504 wins. He's won 2 World Series. Obviously, one as a player and one as a manager. This is a 4-time manager of the year in 1985, 1991, 2004, 2005. Atlanta Braves retired it. Is number 6. Braves Hall of Famer, a baseball Hall of Famer, the one and only. You know it, Bobby Cox.
You know he was a Yankee, right?
Yeah, I know.
Way back when.
1960.
So, guys, just Speedy, read off your 3. Errol, read off your 3, and then we're going to vote.
All right, so I went with Tommy Lasorda with my first one. I went with Connie Mack with my second one, and Tony La Russa with my third.
I went with Sparky Anderson, Casey Stengel, and then Bobby Cox.
Yeah, I mean, those are really good lists. Obviously, Connie Mack from yesteryear. Same with Casey Stengel. I'm going to give the edge to Casey on that one. I'm going to give the edge to Sparky over Lasorda. Close between Bobby Cox and La Russa. I like Cox better. I'm going with Errol tonight. Let's go to Tommy.
Going to me. I'm going to stay with Speedy. I want Speedy to keep the crown. You know, I like the picks with Lasorda, Connie Mack, and, of course, La Russa. So I'm going to have to go with
So what is it, Karate Kid now?
I was just about to say, what is this?
Sweep the leg!
Yeah, I'm going with Speedy.
All right. Tied 1-1. Let's go to Jarrett.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Errol. I just have Bobby Cox and Sparky Anderson really high. Casey Stengel, that's a little before the time period I was looking at. But Connie Mack, to me, was one of those where he just managed a really, really long time. Didn't actually win that many World Series. Had a losing record overall. So Stengel over him, Sparky Anderson, and Bobby Cox. Just too much.
2-1, Jabba.
Yeah, Errol for me. Obviously, kind of even on a couple. Love Connie Mack. Obviously, Connie Mack kind of started that aspect there. I mean, there's still the Connie Mack Baseball League, so there was other aspects that I look. Bobby Cox also one of the most ejected managers, but also too, what a lot of people don't know about Bobby Cox was he was an unbelievable general manager. And he is literally the sole guy that drafted Larry Wayne, and because nobody wanted to take him that early, because he's a nobody from Georgia, and he was the general manager that said we're taking this kid. And how'd that turn out? And I'm a Braves historian, so
there it is. The votes are 3-1. Only a 1 game reign for Speedy. The crown is yours once again, Errol Marks. Congratulations, you are the winner of King of the Hill.
I'm surprised Jabba picked me, but I know I looked at Speedy. I knew he was going to go old with Connie Mack, but I never saw Casey Stengel coach, but I know all about him. And Yogi, I never met Yogi, but every time Yogi spoke about a manager, he said Casey was the brightest one he's ever been around. So, and Yogi was a manager, and Yogi is a historian. Jabba, you know that. You sat down and had conversations with Yogi. So, and he said Casey Stengel is one of the smartest men he's ever been around. So, and I there's a lot of other guys I look at. I mean, Joe Torre, you say whatever you want. Joe Torre was a good manager. He had great teams around him, but you have to be around personalities. You have to coach personalities. He coached Jabba Chamberlain. He coached Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Bernie Williams, Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada, Andy Pettit, and he did it in such a unique way. And he let these guys be themselves. And I think that is what I believe what made Joe Torre so special wasn't his greatness of managing. It's just letting everybody be themselves and letting them do what they're good at. And I knew he hated Alex Rodriguez. We all know he hated Alex Rodriguez, and hence the reason why he moved them all around that lineup. But I think that Joe Torre has a reason for everything, even though I think he's terrible right now as the VP,
Vice President of Baseball Operations in the league office.
Terrible.
I think it is.
It's terrible right now what's going on in baseball.
He oversees the if you challenge a call too.
Yeah, I don't like.
He got my ERA from like a 4.8 because Nick Castellanos was playing third base when I was with the Tigers, and a ball hit off his glove and they scored 3 runs. We appealed it, and he was overseeing the appeal process. I went from like a 4.8, and this was kind of early in the season, so I didn't have a lot of innings, to a 1.1. I was like, that's my dude.
Yeah, not everybody could transform and play a good defensive outfield after that, like Alex Gordon did.
Yeah. Well,
Better believe it.
It's all about personalities, and Joe Torre was the best when it came to working and really hounding on people's personalities. I think that's what made him special. Remember, think about it. Paul O'Neill, look at that personality. Tino Martinez. I mean, all the greats. He brought Scotty Brocious there, and Scotty Brocious became a subpar player to a World Series MVP. And the run that he made as a third baseman, great defensive player. I mean, there were so many great things about Joe Torre, and I give him a lot of credit for his management position and what he did for the New York Yankees. All right, we call this "What's That Smell?"
Hold up. What is that smell?
What's that smell?
Wow, you don't see that every day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for my What's That Smell, we're going to go very simple. You guys know the story. I don't have to tell you guys. They're going to tell you a story or a specific thing that's going on in sports or the world, and they're going to tell you what it smells like. So we're going to go Poops. We're going to go Jarrett. We're going to go Fish, Speedy, Job, and me. Here we go.
All right. So, start my thing off with my What's That Smell. I'm going over to the NFL, to a quarterback that I much adore. I love this dude so much, and it just pains me that he's now in his third year. I believe so. Yeah, he's now in his third year, and he's not playing the best. Hasn't really played the best since his rookie year, but I'm talking about Mr. C.J. Stroud. And more importantly, I'm talking about a comment that he made over this past weekend when reviewing an old footage of himself. He looked at the footage and said that, wow, I used to be so much faster. I'm too old now. At the age of 23, mind you. Like, that's exactly my age. We are the same exact age, Mr. CJ Stroud. So, yeah, CJ, what are you talking about, bro? Look, man, like I said, I absolutely adore the guy. I love the guy. And the fact that he has a terrible offensive line, he has receivers that are made of absolute peanut brittle. It annoys me. It annoys me because you want to see the guy do well. But when you make comments like this, look, Mr. Stroud, it's not very kosher. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So, yes, like I said, the offensive line is trash. And he's calling himself out of his prime, like I said, at 23 years old. If you were out of your prime at 23 years old, I would love to see what you look like a couple years from now. So, what does it smell like? Well, it smells like the stinkiest animal in the Houston Zoo, which is either the hippopotamus or the elephant. And since I was somebody that actually went to the Houston Zoo, with it being 100 degrees over there, that smell, that heat, accompanied with the smell, it's not pretty. So, yeah, that's what we're going with.
All right, Jarrett.
All right, I'm changing mine based off tonight's results so far. I'm a New Orleans Saints fan. My dad's from New Orleans. I have a lot of family in New Orleans. The Giants kicked ass against the Chargers and now the Eagles so far. The Saints are a bad team. We want to be bad. We want to go 0-17. There's a reason Spencer Rattler's at quarterback. It is not to win games. We need draft picks. And they can't take care of business against us? Are you kidding me? Come kick our ass. That's what we're for right now. We're free win.
Don't kick our ass.
Now we're staring down the Titans and the Jets, and now number one seems potentially out of reach because we're going to beat the Falcons at least once this year. So we're looking at 2-15, maybe even 3-14 if we find another win. That's terrible. Drives crazy. It smells like boudin. Boudin smells delicious. It smells great. When you really learn what's in it, it starts to stink. It starts to feel a little worse.
It's good, though.
In some cases, love boudin.
It's good.
But
Who would have thought one of our interns had the first What's That Smell based on Spencer Rattler, not Errol?
That's true. Can't stand that.
They just threw a flag on Scattaboo for lowering his head because he's a savage. He's going to have 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. This is unbelievable. I got a story about an unbelievable football play. Errol, you don't think the Scattaboo's for real. This dude is for real. He just ripped off a bunch of 10-plus yard runs. Running it down there, throw it in the fourth quarter. This is
definitely
great.
playing for real tonight.
This is unbelievable. But what's more unbelievable is what happened in the Chiefs game on Monday night. And that was the final play, the final meaningful play of the game, where Trevor Lawrence stumbles out of his snap. In fact, I'm going to put it up here for people watching on video, which you can do. You can download some video on Apple and Spotify. But this video right here is unbelievable. I've never seen this except for in JV football. Look at him standing around, not doing nothing. He clearly could have made this play if he didn't give up on the play. He looks like one of my JV football players from one of my bad teams a decade plus ago. I can't believe that's Chris Jones. They gave the game away to Jacksonville due to lazy effort. He then deleted all his social media, Errol, like we said earlier today, because he's so embarrassed because of all the comments that he made saying that he just thought the play was over. He's going to learn from it. And then there was some issue with something he said. And then he said, no, I said that before the game. Nobody cares. Nobody believes you. You better step it up after that. That's embarrassing for such a player of your caliber. You can't, even a great player, you can't just, mail it in like that during the regular season. I know that you've been to the Super Bowl a million times and you got a bunch of rings, but you can't play like that in the NFL. You really can't play like that at any level. So what does that smell like? I looked up in Kansas City what the worst smells are. Apparently they have tons of sewage treatment plants over there. One year I was 19 years old, and I worked for the Department of Environmental Protection, and we had to go on a field trip to a sewage treatment facility somewhere in the city, near the Javits Center, I think. And it was the worst smelling place. Literally just smelled like pure human excrement because that's what was there. And a whole bunch of them. That's what Chris Jones and his performance smells like this week.
All right, I wish Goody was here for this one because it's a little conspiracy related. But I'm gonna take a shot at some of these wannabe weather people that are trying to predict things. So, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, Java. Cubs athletic writer Andrew Wagner and also the Marquee Sports Network, some of their broadcasters, were blaming the Brewers opening the roof and saying, "Oh, the Brewers have the shade in the dugout and the Cubs have the sweltering hot dugout," and they were making excuses for that's why they were losing game 1 and allowed 6 runs in the first inning, obviously. And then Wagner later on to follow that up that day when the Brewers closed the roof said, "Oh, are they manipulating the clouds this time so they could have an advantage in game 2?" And they're gonna that's why you get blown out in both of those games. So yeah, you want to be weather conspiracists. Nice try. The reason the Brewers close the roof the way they do or open the roof a certain length is so the pitcher's shadows, I think you pitched their job, I'm sure, the pitcher's shadows are right in line. I'm not sure if you've done it with the roof open or not, but it's in line where they don't have glare on them, not for the reasons they were describing. So what does that smell like? It smells like a bunch of billy goats that cursed the Chicago Cubs walking into the Sausage King of Chicago and eating a bunch of raw sausages from 1986.
God, you go deep with these.
Was that a Ferris Bueller's Day Off reference?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm from in the Sausage King of Chicago.
Right.
That was my terrible impression of that movie. Great movie, though. I think we're up to Jabba.
Mine, what's that smell is a little frustrating, and this is the Yankees fans throwing stuff at Vlad's family. Like, I get it. We've talked about it when the Ryder Cup was here. Like, and that just smells like jealousy, idiocracy, just absolute, just old, moldy 17-year-old beer that's been sitting there, and then you're just pissed because you guys lost, and it smells like you need to grow up and let people enjoy a game.
It's so funny watching Fish smile. Fish is I think Fish is the biggest homer that's ever been on this show. He is the Giants.
I'm not denying any of this. I'm not denying any of it.
The Giants could be playing like crap, and he'll sit there and make excuses on everything. It's crazy. It's absolutely.
You gotta love your team, Errol. When you have 2 teams, you can't really love one.
I think it's just the fact that us Giants fans are happy we're beating the effing Eagles. So,
dude, this is the vaunted
Hey,
Eagles.
by the way, I don't know. Did you guys see Jackson Dart high-five the ref in the third quarter?
I watched it while it happened. I was like, I didn't just see that, did I?
Yeah.
Because he didn't let him in the end zone. It should have been a touchdown. It was a bad call. So he just goes like this, puts his arm up, and Jackson Dart looks at him, puts both hands up for a touchdown, and then slaps him high five and runs away. He should have got a penalty for that.
He's making a move for the future when he starts dating a famous singer like Travis Kelce does.
Yeah, wow. That's a
Believe
whole
it.
nother story. Did you see Taylor Swift speaking about their sex life? It's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't want to know.
It is absolutely ridiculousness. I don't
Nobody
even wanna hear
cares.
it. I know. Did you know that?
Unfortunately, a lot of people do, and that's
I mean, I
kinda
know,
worrisome.
but like, I don't care.
I don't care
Also, did you know that Travis Kelce has his own brand, his own clothing line now at American Eagle?
That I did see. I saw the commercials with all the other like youth athletes. It looked like I didn't recognize a lot of them, but
Lee's also there.
It's TK. It's absolutely ridiculousness. I was over there in Florida. I checked it out. It's absolutely terrible apparel. That's all I got to say.
I'm gonna go check out their steakhouse here in like a month or so.
There you go. Steakhouse sounds good. All right, my final what's that smell goes to LeBron James. I had to add this. LeBron James making this so-called announcement that he was going to make on October 7th, Tuesday, the decision to, well, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't much of a decision because it was a prank. That's what it was. It was a tease. He was teasing everybody on social media that he was going to make an announcement, and all it was an ad for Hennessy. Absolute terrible person who I can't stand, LeBron James, off air, on this show. He's one of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. I can't argue that, but when you hear these stories, and LeBron James likes to put himself center stage on social media and on television and on all these different podcasts, it just makes you sick to your stomach when fans are going to go out there, reach out to LeBron, have a little fun about this, and know that all you're seeing is a man sitting by himself and waiting for LeBron to show up in that picture and that video, and you don't see anything. So, yeah, you know what it smells like? It smells like Bronny Jr.'s ass when he takes a dump. That's what I got to say. All right. I can't stand LeBron James. I really can't. I just, everything that he does, he's trying to be center stage. He's always trying to be there in front of the camera. And right now, he's not the best basketball player. He's not even in the top 5 right now. He's not even in the top 10. And LeBron James needs to make a statement. So he had to make a decision too. Like anybody gives a shit, including me. Yeah, I could give a crap.
You had to hear, as Brian Snow calls them, the bronze sexuals.
But I'm still not doubting he's going to be a Maverick by the end of the year. I'm not doubting it. It is absolute. Dude, who brings up the Dallas Mavericks? And who was it? The Golden State Warriors? Yeah. If he's bringing up those two names, guys, think about it. Just think about it. If he's bringing those names up, that those are the two teams he wants to play for. So, and those are the two teams I said, and the Rockets before, the whole Van Vliet thing happened. The Rockets are just done for this year. I think Kevin Durant makes another mistake. That's all I can say. A very bad mistake.
So we had the Brooklyn Nets. We have the Suns are Nets West, and the Rockets are Nets South.
I think he's a jinx. I really do. He goes over there, and Van Vliet goes out for the season. The guy never gets hurt. He always stays healthy, and he's out for the season with a torn ACL or Achilles, whatever he had.
Maybe they can get James Harden back.
I don't know what they're going to do. I honestly have no point guard. Where are they going at the point position? Are they going to have Kevin Durant bringing up the ball like he did with the Nets?
Good luck.
I mean, come on, guys. That's ridiculous.
You're going to sign Westbrook.
Yeah, all right. Good luck.
Oh, yeah,
that'll work.
That's going to work wonders.
That'll work. Those guys couldn't work together in OKC, and he couldn't work with James Harden. The only time it worked is when he went to Denver. And did that really work? I don't know.
If you go get Harden back too. The Clippers might purge stuff after.
Russell Westbrook is a loser who's never won a championship, ever. So, and either is James Harden. Losers. Kevin Durant won a championship because he had to jump ship and go and play with the Golden State Warriors. 3 losers. Anyways, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank our very special guest. First of all, I can't take it away from Jean Butler, CEO. She's fantastic. Go check her out. Encourage kids. It's fantastic. It's so many good things they're doing right now with that organization. Thank you to Nathan for hooking us up with them. Celebrity chef, a la carte restaurant director, Glenn Rolnick. He was fantastic as well. We might be doing a live show at Carmine's sometime before the end of the year. That'll be fun. We'll entertain a lot of people. I'm sure Jabba will be up here and hopefully eating up a storm because he's like losing weight by the day. I mean, what is he, down to 40 pounds he lost or something? I don't know.
No, we're getting close.
I thought I gained weight, and I jumped on a scale before the show because I I thought I gained 10 pounds. I was eating like a pig. I was eating Oreos. I was eating sleeves of Oreos because it was my vacation. I was 204, so I didn't gain any weight. I'm very surprised. I was eating up a storm, but I did drink a lot of water, so I can't lie about that. Anyways, thank you to them. Thank you to all the fans that follow us on social media. Thank you to Jabba Chamberlain for just being Jabba Chamberlain, going out there and promoting what we do, and all the fans out there, from Spotify to Apple to YouTube to X to Instagram to TikTok to all the platforms that we're on, Odyssey. We really appreciate you guys. Keep following us. Keep liking us. We're working on building on the YouTube channel. It's been growing, and Giant fans are probably doing something. Hopefully nothing on camera when they're doing it after this game, because they're finally going to.
I just couldn't stop smiling for the last 20 minutes because this was just an ass kicking, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing from these two awesome rookies. Look at this.
I'm just going to let you know it's not a good sign for you Giant fans. Knowing
it's a great sign. They just beat the Eagles 34-17 the year they won the Super Bowl.
I might need a wellness check on the city of Philadelphia.
It's not going to make a difference, and the Giants just
it makes a big difference. You just beat Philly
fans.
That's awesome.
Did they start rioting yet?
The Giants are missing so many
it's crazy.
pieces. The Giants are missing so many pieces. They need to lose and build. That's the way they need to go.
Losers only continue to lose. You got to win. You got to get to the playoffs somehow. You got to try to have a winning season. You got to build upon and build upon and build upon. You don't just draft a bunch of rookies and become great.
You just lost against the Saints. You just lost against
You got to go from steps. That's how football is.
Stop. The only reason why you lost that game.
You got to go from a loser to a winner to a guy who wins and becomes a champion.
But I finished with
It's too late to have popcorn when you guys are arguing.
Listen, here's the fact. Here's the facts. The Eagles went into the game thinking they were going to run all over them, and they ran into a team that had nothing to lose. That's all I'm going to say about that. A buzzsaw. Okay.
Jared, what size is your melon? That hat is almost to the brim, fam.
I got a big head. Yeah.
Wow. I
had
just
a big
noticed
ass
when
head.
he's fixing his house. Like, damn, he's about to run out of real estate on that
Pop
lid.
out,
bro.
baby. Pop out. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We did. And I want to give a shout out to Fish, even though he's a pain in the ass and he's like a giant lover and an ugly hat on his head, and he wears blue all the time.
What are you talking about?
That is a wonderful hat.
It looks like you know what he looks like. He looks like an Oompa Loompa. Every time I look at him,
Oompa Loompas are miniature and orange. What are you talking about? I'm
and
6'2".
and you wear blue, so you're my Oompa Loompa.
I wear blue. They're green and
blue.
orange.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
You're an Oompa
short.
Loompa.
And
And-
short.
and it doesn't matter. You're the Oompa Loompa on that scope. And as far as I'm concerned, when you're looking on that scope, you're short. You're an Oompa Loompa. Anyways,
Hey, so who's the shortest one in our group?
Probably me.
Speedy.
You're not that short though, Speedy. No one's really short.
5'8", like someone.
Actually,
Nathan's
Tommy
short.
is. I think Tommy is. Tommy, what?
I'm only 5'9".
Yeah, I
he's
think
taller
Tommy.
than me. He's taller.
Oh,
So
okay.
Nithin's the shortest?
Definitely
Nithin's the shortest.
Nithin's like a good 5'5", I think.
Then I would say Speedy.
Yeah, I'm
then
5'8"
I'd
and
say
a half.
Tommy. Then I'd say me. So,
Jared, how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
there you go.
No doubt.
All right, that's it. I could care less. I'm long in other ways. Good night.
It's the world.